Welcome. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Welcome to our Christmas special. Well, I have a Christmas shirt on, right? What do you think? Christmassy. We'll give you a little tour later. But I don't know about you guys, but I don't know. There's not much decorations here. We didn't put a tree up or anything. Nothing. But we are in our Christmas gift this year is we just got into the bigger trailer unit that we have here. We got it leveled over the last few days and we got the heat going. We have it's very comfy, a lot more room. I have this little studio area here. So over there is kind of a kitchen area. And it's a big kitchen. But we'll take you for a tour in a bit. We have an excellent show coming up today. We have Ex-Witness Awake. I got my cat at the door. See, the cat wants to come in. Watch. There's a big patio door there. So the cat is right there. The cat wants to be part of the show, Christmas. Merry Christmas! Oh, ho, ho, ho! Where's your stocking? Well, that'll come up then. The cat and the dog stocking. Most important stocking in the house. Okay, so we got our audience here. The cat and the dog. The cat likes a new place. Lots more room. The old place was like 10 by 10. It was very small, 19 foot. But the reward is worth it. So we started here on this summer. We sold our farm. For those of you that are new, I don't think a lot of you guys are new. We say hello to Jonathan. Jonathan's going to come on in a bit and entertain us. Hello, Jay. And we have Jacqueline. Cordova. Merry Christmas. Ruby. Merry Christmas to Ruby and your husband and your children. And we have, there's my good wife. Hello, good wife. Debbie Smith. Hello. And Shaq Composer. Merry Christmas. So yeah, for a lot of us, perhaps we haven't done Christmas or celebrated it, but what is it to celebrate it? Well, just part of the Christmas spirit. So it's good. Did you want to say hi, good wife? Maybe
I said hello.
She said hi. So there's the kitty in the background. Hi there. You like this spot? There's the spot. But Christmas to a lot of XJWs might not mean anything. Because maybe you went a whole life thinking that it's evil or wrong or something's wrong with it. But when we live our life with love and we look at the offshoots of something, we look at the offshoots of Christmas. What does Christmas bring? Well, there's a lot of good things with Christmas. It brings joy. People are in a different mood. There's a lot of giving. You know, you're thinking about, well, what should I give my cat this Christmas? What should I give my dog? Well, they're easy. You know, a bone for the dog and some cat toy for the cat maybe. But it depends. So what you see over there on the screen is my good wife. She's in the other holiday trailer. We're calling it the kitchen camera.
It's my
and
kitchen.
She's working on putting together. So there's their stockings for the good wife and myself. Of course,
I'll
Santa
deliver them in a second. Mm-hmm.
Who's Santa? Well, Santa is a person that does a lot of giving. And when I grew up as a kid, because I wasn't raised a Jehovah's Witness, I celebrated Christmas for 18 years, and my mom was the Santa in our house. A lot of times it's the moms because they're very giving. They think of all these things. And my mom used to give us, socks and shirts and sweaters and things like that, things we needed. That's what my mom would do. And when we were younger, of course, when we were little kids and we actually believed that there was a Santa, wait a minute, you think my mom and dad were lying to me? Well, if you're a Christian and your mom and dad tells you to believe in Jehovah or Jesus, it's the same thing. I haven't seen a Jehovah. I haven't seen a Santa on a sleigh. I haven't seen Jesus' second coming, and he's supposed to have been here a long time ago. Every religion thinks it should have been here a long time ago. And then they think it's going to be like an Armageddon, but really it's a restoration. That's what it's about, the way I read it. If we want to have the Christmas in it. Now I'm going to look at something on our channel. We ran a survey on our channel. Just want to see if I can pull it up. And we wanted to know on the channel. I'll just pull it up here on the screen. Just give me a moment. Okay, so where are we? We have surveys, community, and there we go. There we go. I'll pull it up on the screen here. So on the channel, we have 39% of the channel so far. That's only based on basically 100 votes, but it gives us an idea. So far, 39% of the channel say they follow Jesus' message of love and they use the Bible. So 39%. That's about what it was last time I did the survey like that. It was about 40% of the channel was Christian, follower of Christ. So this time of year, for the 40% of the channel out there, they're interested in Jesus. Now, if you just come out of the org, you just come out. Now, for those of you that have moved away from the Bible, but I'm still spiritual, that takes a while. That when you just come out of the org, you're trying to figure it all out, and you're somewhat Christian when you come out of the org, I think, for the most of us. But then you see the survey says, I have moved away from the Bible, but I'm still spiritual. So some people move away from the Bible. They realize, well, hey, this Bible caused me a lot of harm. There's a lot of things in the Bible. And then if you start researching the Bible, well, that's another rabbit hole. You can research your way out of the Bible. Because let's all face it, to believe in the Bible, it takes faith. In fact, the Bible itself says it takes faith to believe in the Bible. It defines faith in the Bible. But really, to believe in anything that you haven't seen takes faith. Anything out there that you haven't seen, anything that's not present, to believe in it. So the Bible is definitely a book that is taken by faith. In the Bible's defense, it's been around a long time. It's a book of stories. There's a lot of true stories. Are they all true? Well, I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't write them. I know when I write my own stories, all stories have a protagonist and an antagonist. Most stories. So when I write my own stories, I write myself as the protagonist, as the hero. And then I write the antagonist who's working against the hero in the story. So a lot of the story writers may write that way. Some of them are Bible writers. Usually your hero in the Bible is Jesus, right? Everything points towards Jesus. He's the hero. And in the Bible, the antagonist is the devil. That's the one that's working against Jesus. That's what religion teaches anyways. So a lot of people have moved away from the Bible. Maybe some have checked out the Quran. Maybe some have checked out Buddhism, other religions. I don't know. But they're still spiritual. Some people are still spiritual. They believe that, I don't know, there's something spiritual about living, about life. Well, 21% of the channel feels that way. So that's about 61% of the channel, you could say, is spiritual. Why do people celebrate Christmas and they're from another country? Maybe they're Chinese, Japanese. Why would they give gifts on Christmas Day? Why would they do that? Because it's somewhat spiritual. You see, it's a spiritual thing, the giving, the whole Christmas scene. It's very spiritual. So 6% of the channel says they're interested in other ideas, Gnostic, chronology, aliens, etc. And we've run a few programs on the channel like that, just to open our minds up that there are other ideas. But there's only 6% of the channel that's interested. And then we have 34% of the channel. Now, no one likes to be categorized or called an atheist or anything like that, but I like the word humanist, or non-Bible person. And I've ran some videos on humanists. Humanists believe in love. They believe in being a good human to others. And in fact, the humanists here in British Columbia, Vancouver, they have went to court and stood up for the Jehovah's Witnesses in court, or for the ex-Jehovah's Witness community in court against the Jehovah's Witness. And that's to do with, in British Columbia, the releasing of records. You can't get your records out of jw.org. So, hey, welcome, Jonathan.
Surprise. Do I sound okay?
Does your mic work?
Oh, is it not coming in? Well, that's a problem.
Huh. I'm going to turn my volume up. Can I do a mic test here?
Yeah. Do you have that Bluetooth speaker on? The Wonder Boom? Hi,
Can't
Clyde.
hear anybody.
Hi, Nash.
Are you there, Jonathan?
Nash.
Can I hear you?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Oh, you're muted. Jonathan's muted.
Oh, he is now.
Can you unmute yourself, Jonathan?
Yeah, Jonathan, you muted.
Sorry. The microphone.
Now can we hear you?
Yes. Are you good
Now.
there,
Okay, I
Vern?
can't hear anything, but you go ahead. I'm going to try to play with my sound. I don't know.
Jonathan, I
what's
have to
going
go
Yes.
over to the other trailer. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay. We'll hold down the fort.
And
Awesome.
it's always I find a little bit of a pain, some of this stuff,
Technical issues.
working with
Yeah.
it. It says it's good.
Okay. You can hear me? Okay.
Anyways, my speakers say they're working.
And you can hear me?
I can't hear Jonathan.
Darn.
Can you hear Jonathan?
I could at the other end.
You could at the other end, eh? Huh.
And
The audience can hear me.
here?
They can
You
hear
could
us.
hear me okay?
I could hear everything. So go to your audio. Where's your Wonder Boom?
Well, it's right down here, and I shut it off. I pulled off Bluetooth because I thought that was the issue.
No.
Yeah. So I just put
Krampus
it
is
on.
messing with the settings
I can't
again.
hear it.
Then leave and come back in.
Okay, well, I'm going to leave the studio and come back in. We'll
That's
see you
my
guys in a
show.
bit.
I guess here we are, just hanging out by the kitchen. I hope everybody has had a good holiday so far. Yeah, I wasn't really prepared to say much. Yeah, I'm eagerly waiting for our dinner to finish cooking in the oven. Those turkeys take forever, so I'm looking forward to that. Feel like I need to tell some jokes now or something. I like my hat. I got this at the dollar store. I think it cost me like $3 at the Dollarama.
Okay, my good wife
There we go.
fixed my whole system up. Just had to reset the computer.
Perfect.
Good thing. Okay, well, thanks, Jonathan. I missed everything you'd said.
It was
So-
nothing important. I was just filling space.
You're just filling some space. So how's your Christmas going? You look good. You got a nice Christmas hat.
Thank you. I got this one at the Dollarama.
Oh, cool.
And
we
yeah, so far so good. Not
good.
not a
So
not a present heavy Christmas, but good spirit anyway.
well, it's all as we get older, kind of that's what it is. It's have a meal together, good company. Try to keep it all positive, I guess.
Yeah.
But sometimes Christmas brings a lot of stress on the head of the house, if the working guy. And I remember, as a Jehovah's Witness, of course, we made our own stress. We'd always go skiing or try to do something with the kids. So those trips aren't cheap either.
No.
And they're expensive. I remember when I was growing up as a kid, I would hear my mom and dad argue about money during Christmas. My mom would spend a lot, charge a lot on the visa. And then after Christmas, it would take 2 or 3 months to pay the visa off if it ever gets paid off. And sometimes Christmas can bring lots of anxiety financially.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but I guess it depends on how a person chooses to do it. Now, Shauna's family introduced something new to me when I met Shauna. This is going back 8-10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And Shauna can explain what they did for Christmas. I don't know if you want to get in on the conversation, Shauna. But
we just did the silly gifts, like the white elephant gifts, so we did a little bit different though, because my grandma would host the Christmas dinner for the extended family, so I'd be the one at the dollar store buying 30 little presents. And yeah, so and then every Christmas day everybody would just pick a present from the table and you got to choose a new one or steal somebody else's, so it was a lot of fun.
yeah, so you get a whole family there, and what is it, like $40? And it, and you could do it. So okay, well, you can go to the dollar store and that's it. That's the limit.
Yeah,
that's the Christmas limits.
That was when the dollar store items were $1. So.
I know. It's kind of a. Is there anything for $1 there anymore? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, there's another racket. So okay, I'm just gonna
okay.
mute
Here's a cup. We got these at. This is backwards. Let it snow. Oh, wonder why it's inverted. Here.
It doesn't look inverted to us.
No, when I okay, now is it inverted?
Just let it snow. No, it's
and it said it the same before. Said it the same before, eh? So if I if I mirror my camera right now, it still says the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I think that setting is just so that you, who is used to looking in the mirror, can see something familiar that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
if I'm looking at this screen, my second screen, that's why I have it mirrored, because I'm looking that way, I guess. So what's new in your world in Toronto? Is it snowing?
Yeah, you've been getting some snow. It's not too heavy, thankfully. It's been sloppy weather.
Yeah. Is it cold? Is it below zero?
I think the other day I went out and it was maybe -14, -16, something like that.
That's pretty cold.
Yeah. What that is in US Fahrenheit scale, I couldn't tell you. I would say like 2 degrees or something.
Yeah. Well, -14. Yeah. Because my 32 degrees. Yeah. Okay. 2 degrees. 32 degrees in Fahrenheit is freezing, right?
Yeah.
Which, why wouldn't they just
I can never remember the conversion.
Why wouldn't they just say 0 is freezing? And, I don't know. But then they'd be Celsius, right?
They like to be difficult.
British. It's a British metric. Yeah. And we should really be British because we're Commonwealth, right? We're from our country, but our country went metric.
Yeah.
Was that before your time, metric? When we were British?
Well, I'm not from Canada. I'm originally from the US.
Oh, okay. So you kind of understand Fahrenheit.
But I've lived here pretty much half my life, so I've got sort of an equal dose of both.
Yeah. When I grew up as a kid, it was all Fahrenheit. There was no metric.
Yeah. I do know that it switched over at some point.
Yeah, it switched over when I was about grade 9, I think. What does that mean in the 80s, I think? That's when I think it switched over. Okay, so what do you got some songs for us? You want to do some singing, you're thinking? Tell us a story.
I thought I'd try reading. This is actually Shauna's suggestion. Reading The Night Before Christmas. We're sick in the house, so I may switch to having a cough drop now and again just to keep my voice from crapping out.
Yeah, we stocked up on halls.
I just got the generic stuff. It's fine. All right. So is it okay with you to sing to
Yeah,
recite
absolutely. Do you want to have the full screen here, or what do you want to do here?
Sure, it's up to you.
Do you need the screen? Do you need the screen to present anything, or is just you?
No, I'm just gonna read it.
Okay. Well, you go ahead, and Shauna and I'll disappear for a few moments, and we'll enjoy your reading from the backstage. How does that sound, Shauna?
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. So we've got A Visit from St. Nicholas by Clement Clare Moore. It says there's two versions, but I'm not going to bother with. I'm going to go with whatever's first. So here you go. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mamma in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprung up from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon, on the breast of the new-fallen snow, gave a luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes did appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment he must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his corsairs they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As the leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky, so up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laid his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. And there you go. Okay, I'm done. Oh, can't hear you.
That was really good. That
Oh.
was awesome reading. One of my favorite tales to this day, no matter how many times I hear it or how many different ways. I love it.
Well, thank you. Actually, I did. I didn't really know it well since, I didn't grow up with it. So I had to review it a little bit.
Mhm. But it sure paints a nice story, hey? Like it's I don't know, it's just it's fun, right?
It's fun, yeah.
And that's why I like Christmas. It's fun. So, no, that was great. Thanks for that.
Grow out my beard a little bit. Ho, 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 ho.
So, did we lose Vern? Vern's
Oh,
muted right
we
now.
lost you.
Yeah, he's muted. Just give him a second.
Okay, I was
There he
muted.
goes.
Sorry about that.
Oh, there you
I
go.
know. Yeah.
So I wanted to show your page, Jonathan, to everyone out
Oh, thank you.
there. If they haven't subscribed, subscribe. It's brand new. This is Jonathan. He says, step into the universe of imagination. Tale Teller's Universe is your destination for bite-sized adventures. Original short stories and captivating narrations of timeless public domain tales. So they're what 100-word stories you have on the shorts?
Well, I started doing that and I thought, why am I limiting myself to 100 words? So I just kind of go with the flow. And the last one I did was that Perfect Christmas Tree, and it came out to about 2,000 words.
Okay. I watched part of it and I thought that would be a good one to
If you want to play it,
play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's play it. Okay.
just forewarn people, it's a spooky
It's gonna wake.
in case someone's like, I'm here for just Christmas cheer, and like, what is this?
I think it's great that you're bringing out all of your talents. And I've been watching a few of your short stories, and they do catch you, these little short 100-worders. And that's a thing, these short stories.
Yeah. It's a good exercise, even for somebody that doesn't do it regularly, just to create a story.
Hi,
Go ahead,
Diana.
Shane.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. Hi, Diana. Merry Christmas. I see you there. And hi, Johnny. Okay. Thank you.
Who do we have in the comments, eh?
I got to buy that CapCut Pro so I can get that logo out of there.
Which one? Oh, the CapCut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
I
well,
like to get you.
I'm going to silence myself and just walk over to the other unit. We'll watch this.
Okay.
You can silence yourself or just keep yourself on, but we'll leave the cameras roll. Okay?
Okay.
Here we go.
Hopefully, the way I'm dressed doesn't give away the theme to the story today. Just kidding. It's called The Perfect Christmas Tree. If you like. Hello, I'm Jonathan. Hopefully, the way I'm dressed doesn't give away the theme to the story today. Just kidding. It's called The Perfect Christmas Tree. If you like short stories of the horror, comedy, and sci-fi genre, then you come to the right place. This is Telltale's Universe. Please like, share, and subscribe, and you can get more of these stories on the regular. I'm considering only posting once a week because quality is better than quantity, and I want to make sure to put out the best stories that I can. But anyway, let's get to the story now. The Perfect Christmas Tree by Jonathan Lee Wilson. Ever since they first started dating in their first year at Hickory Ridge High School, Jack and Megan were inseparable. They both came from some of the poorest families in Trimble County, Kentucky. They didn't have much as kids, but they had each other. Growing up in a trailer park taught them to both appreciate what they had, but to aim higher in life. Jack was kind, thoughtful, a hard worker, and ruggedly handsome. Megan was funny, intelligent, had a good work ethic, and she was beautiful. Despite their meager upbringing, they managed to pull themselves out of the poorhouse and into a middle-class lifestyle. This year was their 10th anniversary, and Christmas was just around the corner. For the last few years, they'd purchased artificial trees for Christmas from the Dollar General. While it was something they were used to, it just felt like it was lacking something. Ask either one, and they'd tell you about the pitiful trees they grew up with. Trees that made Charlie Brown's stick and ornament look rich. This year, however, they promised themselves that they would find the tree. They weren't interested in some artificial out-of-the-box tree, no. They wanted the real thing. They wanted the kind of tree that said to themselves, "We finally arrived." So Jack and Megan searched all throughout the county. Bedford and Milton were a bust. No matter how many trees they looked at, nothing seemed good enough. Their home had high ceilings, so they wanted a decent-sized tree at least. They wanted a tree that looked like it had been sculpted by the angels themselves. Jack really wanted to find the right tree for Megan, so he made it his mission to find a tree that he knew would fill the emptiness that they had felt from missing out as children. Every day after work, Jack would drive to a lot or check a farmhouse and see what various trees they had on display. It was on the fourth day that he saw what they were looking for. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite as easy as Jack wanted it to be. When Jack got home, he burst through the door and called out to Megan. "I finally found it," he said excitedly. "Found what?" she said, startled at his sudden entrance. "Our tree, of course." He was practically giddy with excitement. "Where? How much? Can we get it now?" she said in a flurry of questions. "Well, here's the thing. It's not exactly for sale. It's on private property on an otherwise empty lot," he said sheepishly. "Are you kidding? We can't steal a tree," she said, surprised Jack would even consider stealing. "Yeah, I know. The tree is on a lot where everything else is dead. It might even be county property, and screw the county," he said, trying to convince Megan to keep an open mind. Wringing her hand slightly, she looked at Jack and saw how much he wanted that tree. "Okay, but only if we can get it without getting busted," she said hesitantly. Jack's face lit up and he smiled. Megan's face followed and a smile showed on hers as well. "Where is it exactly?" she asked. "It's behind the cemetery, all tucked away at the end of the property. There's just a short fence to hop and we can grab it. Since it's in the cemetery, no one will even be around to see us," said Jack. It seemed he had a plan. "Behind the cemetery? Oh, man. It gives me the creeps every time we drive past that place," Megan said. She suddenly felt the hair raise in the back of her neck. "You're not seriously scared, are you? Come on, don't be chicken," he said. Jack wiggled his fingers and made a ghostly noise. "Ooh." "Very funny, Jack. It just gives me the creeps, that's all," she said, pushing his shoulder. "Well, if you can be brave, we'll grab it tomorrow after work," he said. "Fine. I do want a perfect tree. If you say it's perfect, then it's perfect." She put her arms over his shoulder and gave him a kiss. He reciprocated, and soon he was fireman carrying her to the bedroom. It was 20 minutes after 5, and Jack was leaving work on his way to pick up Megan. He needed to see the tree so she could see what all the fuss was about. Jack was enjoying Christmas songs on the local radio station. Michael Bublé sang his rendition of "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." "Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on our troubles will be out of sight." Jack interrupted the classic to make a call. "Sirius, phone Megan." "Phoning Megan," said the AI assistant. The phone rang twice and Megan's voice sounded on the speakers. "Are you almost home?" she said. "I'll be home in about 5 minutes and then we can run through the cemetery and check out the tree. Sound good?" he said. "Yes, please," she replied. He smiled at her enthusiasm. "I brought you a hot chocolate from the break room. It's not Starbucks, but it's free," he said. "Oh, thanks, babe. See you shortly," she said, completing the call. The song on the radio had changed to Stevie Wonder's "One Little Christmas Tree." It seemed appropriate under the circumstances. "One little Christmas tree was standing alone, waiting for someone to come by. One little Christmas tree that never had grown, cried as it looked up to the sky." Jack shut off the radio as he pulled up to their house. Megan was already waiting on the porch. Jack put the passenger side window down and leaned toward the approaching Megan. "Need a lift?" he said playfully. "I don't usually get into strange men's cars, but you look hot, so I'm making an exception," she said with a grin. Megan slid into the seat and planted a kiss on him. Minutes later, they were pulling into the Savior's Hope Cemetery. It was nearly as old as the town itself. It had been here for 120 years at least. The wrought iron fence had seen better times. The gate was open, but not secured in place. The slightest breeze brought on a choir of creaks and moans from the ancient hinges. They drove on, navigating the tight lanes that weaved through the burial grounds. Old grave markers and tombstones provided excellent cover. Jack was right. No one would be able to see them once they came back to get the tree. Jack put their old blue Toyota Corolla into park. "There it is," he said, pointing to the majestic-looking noble fir just over the 4-foot section of fence. It was magnificent. Megan caught sight of it and was awestruck. She looked like Dr. Ellie Sattler getting her first look at a brontosaurus in the Jurassic Park movie. "What did I tell you? It's perfect," he said with a huge grin. Megan could see now why Jack said this was the one. It was about 15 feet from the other side of the fence, so it would be pretty easy to get to the car. She wanted it right now, but they hadn't thought to bring any of the tools they would need. Besides, driving out of the cemetery with a tree on the roof of the car during the day would seem a little suspicious and might attract a little attention. Megan noticed that the area surrounding the tree was barren for about 40 feet all around. "I see what you mean about it being otherwise dead on that lot, Jack. The tree must be pulling all the nutrients, I guess," said Jack. While they chatted, a white and brown rabbit went through the gaps in the fence and hopped around. Its head was mostly brown, and its right eye lined in a white circle. It appeared to be looking for something to munch on. "Oh, a white and brown bunny. It's so cute," she said. They looked at each other for only a moment and then looked back toward the tree. The rabbit was nowhere to be found. Where'd it go? She wondered. Jack could swear he saw some dust kick up in the general vicinity of where the rabbit had just been. No matter. It probably found a burrow to duck into. "Okay, you convinced me. This is our tree. I can't wait to decorate it." Her face lit up at the thought. Jack pointed to the tree. "We'll see you later tonight." After swinging back by the house, they picked up the necessary tools for the job. Afterward, they would grab some supper and wait for the right time to return. Sufficiently dark, the time had come to claim their tree. This section of town was practically deserted after dusk. Again, Jack rolled past the creaking gate of Savior's Hope. It was being exceptionally noisy, he felt. "Geez, that racket's going to wake the residents here," he said. Megan made a face that expressed agreement. As they drove through the cemetery, a stone angel on a grave marker seemed to watch them as they passed by slowly. It was just their minds playing tricks on them, wasn't it? Megan got that spine tingle again and focused on Jack. He was scanning ahead of them, with his eyes darting around. Evidently, the thought of getting caught was at least a little concerning. The car came to a stop and they exited. Megan grabbed the axe and the shovel from the back seat and handed the former to Jack. He took out adjustable lights from his pocket and handed one to Megan. They were the kind you get off of Amazon, with a strap you could place around your forehead to allow for hands-free lighting. They both slipped the lights into position and turned them on. Cones of light illuminated the area. Harsh shadows formed, playing tricks with their eyes. They made their way toward the old rusty fence. Some of the oldest graves were located in this section. The gravestones were in pretty bad shape. They could use some maintenance, maybe a good cleaning at least. One of the markers featured a relief depicting the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Another depicted a field of wheat being cut down with a scythe. The third showed angels pouring out bowls of destruction upon the earth. "Did you get a look at those tombstones?" Megan asked. "Yeah, I see why you were creeped out earlier," Jack said. When they reached the fence, Jack hopped over it with ease. Megan, being much shorter than Jack, found it a little more challenging. She barely cleared the fence and managed to tear her jeans. "My jeans, these are my favorite ones," she said, frustrated at the luck. "You okay, Shorty?" he said. "You are not funny," she said in return. "Sorry," he said, making a face of embarrassment. As they walked toward the tree, its beauty grew. She was so focused on it, she failed to see the object underfoot. Her right foot came down to meet the dirt. She heard a sickening crunch. There below her boot was the desiccated remains of a rabbit. The fur on the husk of its body was brown, with a distinct white circle on the right side of its face. How could this be? The corpse was dried and missing any hint of moisture. Had she not known the condition of that rabbit earlier today, she never would have believed it. She kicked it away from her, jumping around in a display of disgust. "Are you okay?" Jack was concerned, as she seemed genuinely upset. "No, I'm not. That rabbit we saw earlier today, I just stepped on its body. It was all dried up like it had been dead for a long time," she explained. "That's gross. I'm sorry, babe. Let's just get that tray and get out of here, okay?" he said. He could tell that she was no longer in the mood for jokes, so kind and empathetic behavior was in order for the remainder of the night. "Yes, let's just get it and go," she agreed. At the foot of the 10-foot tree, Jack reached out to touch the beautiful blue-green needles. They were sharper than they appeared. So sharp, in fact, he pulled his hand away and a tiny drop of blood formed. It was no more than you would expect had you pricked your finger to check your blood sugar levels as a diabetic person. "Oh, are you okay? Did you just get cut by a Christmas tree?" she said with concern. He waved his finger for a moment and then sucked on the tiny injury. What he didn't notice was the tiny droplet of blood falling away from his fingertip. It landed at the base of the tree on an exposed root. Suddenly, the roots shot from the ground and wrapped around Jack's left foot. It coiled around his calf twice and constricted with force enough so as to cause him a great deal of discomfort. "What the hell? This tree just wrapped around my leg." Jack was stunned at what had just happened. Megan screamed at the sight of the tree's attack on her husband. Shit, it's burning my skin," he said in a panic. "Get it off me," he screamed. Jack, realizing he had an axe in his hand, swung wildly at the ground. The angle the root came up from the soil prevented him from getting a good shot in. The pain in his leg grew by leaps and bounds. Issuing from the root were smaller tendrils that whipped around violently. Some of them pierced his flesh and undulated beneath the skin. He dropped the axe and tried tearing the root away from his injured leg. Megan, holding the shovel, used it as a weapon and took swings at the trunk of the tree. Bark and bits of wood exploded away from the trunk. The pressure to Jack's leg increased even further the moment she struck the tree. "Get this thing off of me!" The pain was unbearable. It burned intensely. He could see the flesh of his leg beginning to change color and texture. His skin looked like it was drying up. Unbelievably strong panic took hold in his mind. He could actually feel his life being drained away through his leg. Megan could tell it would take much too long to extricate her trapped husband using a shovel. She dropped the shovel and picked up the axe Jack had abandoned in order to use both hands. She could see her angle of attack was much better than what Jack was able to muster. She placed the blade on the exposed root. It was no more than 6 inches from Jack's foot. She closed her eyes for a moment in an attempt to focus all her energy into what she needed to do. She swung the axe and came down perfectly where she intended it to strike. It took 3 hits to do the job, but the root was severed. Jack, who had been pulling and ripping at the root, suddenly fell backwards, with the end of the root still coiled around his wounded leg. The severed root suddenly went limp and fell away from his leg. The tendrils were pulled away from the wounds and fell away with the root. Jack, realizing he was suddenly free from the grasp of the evil thing, leaped up and prepared to run as fast as his legs would take him. Searing pain still lingered in his injured flesh. The tree sent another root out to deal with the sharp object that maimed it. The new root wrapped itself around the axe. Suddenly, the axe was yanked violently from Megan's grasp and flung 15 feet behind it. "Come on, let's get out of here," Jack screamed. They both ran as fast as they could go. Jack tumbled over the fence and rolled to the ground on the other side. Megan, who was filled with adrenaline at this point, cleared the fence easily. She saw Jack was on the ground and dropped down to help him. They got to the Toyota and Megan helped her injured husband into the passenger seat. She got around to the driver's side and drove as fast as she could while in the narrow lanes of the cemetery. As soon as she cleared the gate, She punched it and headed for the ER. Back at the fence, roots curled and weaved around the ground. One root ran across a 1-foot square sign that had fallen from the fence. It read, "Keep out." 3 weeks later, Jack was healing well from his injuries. His skin was still discolored a bit, but the pain wasn't there any longer. They sat in their living room, cuddled up on the couch. The lights in their And we're back. I hope you enjoyed the craziest Hallmark Christmas story you ever did hear. If you're interested in hearing more stories like this, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing with anybody that you can. I'll appreciate the help. So with that, have yourself a Merry Christmas. Come back soon and I'll be waiting. And to my sister Catherine in Florida, hope you like the story.
Oh, that was a lot of fun, Jonathan. I
I-
just,
Well, thank you for that, Jonathan.
You're welcome. I don't think that was intentional, but you cut off the last sentence.
I
It just like,
know, hey?
so I'll tell you. And they enjoyed the best Christmas tree that they could get at the Dollar General after that. They're like, forget it, ain't worth it.
No, my sound is kind of funny here. Let me just see. I'm gonna. I don't think this has anything to do with it.
No,
Oh.
it doesn't. So.
The weather got nicer all of a sudden.
Oh, did it? Oh, yeah, oh, back. Oh, God, I can't believe I even fell for that.
What's that?
Nothing. It's okay, dear.
I do that to my wife pretty much every other day. We'll be in the store and I'll read something off the shelf and she thinks I'm saying something and I'll point to it and she's like,
Mhm.
it's just my sense of humor.
Yeah. Vern will do that with the French side of products quite often, hey?
Oh, yeah.
Sounds very hoity-toity. Oh, yeah. Les Cheerios. So
Okay.
you said when he's cooking a big meal for you guys, do you have more family coming to visit you or just all the kids or what's the deal?
Well, we did have the grandparents coming, but unfortunately, there's too much sick in the house and we don't want to put them at risk.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are the kids all feeling? So,
The non-sick ones, okay. The sick one's
oh,
terrible.
okay. So what, you have like 5 total, right?
Yeah.
5? Okay. So how many are sick?
2.
Oh, that's enough. And how's the wife holding up? Has she gotten the bug yet or?
She's not feeling great either, unfortunately. And I've been feeling like garbage the last few days. So I managed to avoid the worst of it, I think. But then again, I don't know. Maybe I'm just on the beginning tracks of this. So we'll see. I do have 5
Yeah.
days off because of holidays. So that's unusual for my profession, being a commercial cleaner. So I can look at it this way. Either I can be sick and not have to worry about it, or I'm going to be sick on my holidays and be mad about it. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, no, that's true. But is your weather nice out there, or are you guys getting nailed right now?
No, it's a little messy, but it's not bad.
No,
Not a whole lot of
not
snow.
anything out of the, yeah, nothing out of the normal. Hey, so this is completely foreign for us here. We would have had a white Christmas, except it rained yesterday, and it's been 6 above here, and that's Celsius.
Oh
But
wow.
Jonathan, yeah, I know
Yeah.
it's unheard of here. So
6 above is
I,
like fall weather.
Oh yeah, I know. It's very early spring weather when you start thinking about pulling out the shorts or at least firing up the barbecue. But
I
it's
guess that'd
very,
be
very
like
nice.
the low 40s probably in Fahrenheit, right? Something like that.
Okay, there you go. Unless I have my Google running, I can't tell you.
Like for
So
me, that's
hi
cold because I
Douglas.
run cold. I'm freezing in my office right now, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, no, it's not bad here. Vern, are you
It's,
okay with your sound
Hello,
there?
Jay.
Yeah, I think my sound's good here. I wanted to. Someone said they missed the story WD8, so I wanted to show again everyone. Jonathan, he started a new YouTube site, right, Jonathan? Now, Jonathan, you have a couple other YouTube sites?
I have
Or-
X Witness Awake, so that is, obviously ExJW stuff.
Mhm.
I can say honestly, I'm doing less of it now, but I am doing it. I have an interview that, because it's Christmas, I uploaded it, and I thought, well, people are probably busy right now, so I'm going to leave it for either tomorrow or the day after. And that's with Jack Capo, the compassionate
really?
apostate. Yeah.
Oh, you got so are you getting up at 2 a.m. to do the interview?
Oh no, it's already pre-done and edited.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because he's living on a flat with a bunch of people, and he mentioned that he can't get up. Like, our times are so different, our zones.
Yeah.
That we would have to get up at 2 a.m. really to be on his time level.
Yeah.
But
that's a bit much.
It is tough, yeah. And then if you're living with people and you're getting up onto lives and you hear all this noise, it's disturbing, right?
Yeah.
So it's tough. So thanks for doing that. For getting, I've been wanting to
Even got a little singing in there.
Yeah.
Bonus.
So maybe yeah, that's great. We'll so I wanted to show people your site here. It's growing. Now, to really monetize these sites, there's a lot of work that a creator puts into a site. I believe you have to get to 1,000 subscribers to monetize, right?
Yeah, and 4,000 watch hours.
So if anybody watching online right now, all they have to do is type in at Tale Tellers Universe. That's it, right here. Just type that in and pull it up, subscribe, and watch a few videos. These stories are quite interesting. You can put them on in the background and watch them. Now, there should not be commercials yet, right? Because it's not monetized.
No, yeah, there's no commercials.
But a creator has to put a lot of work into a site to really build it and to even get a dime. We try to pay our internet through the site.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard to make that much money to pay your internet bill, right?
Yeah.
It's all based on watch hours. So
yeah, where I'm at, there's two games in town for internet, Rogers and Bell. And so it's kind of a monopoly, and the internet's ridiculous over here as far as cost.
It is. Yeah.
I tried to reduce my bill the other day, and they're like, well, we don't have anything like that. We have more, you can do more data, but it's not going to save you any money. So
now I wanted to ask you about this site. Did you write all these stories?
Yes, with the exception of the Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. And I'm going to try and put always in the title if it's by me,
But you wrote all these stories. These are all your stories. You're writing your 100-word writings.
Yeah. Yeah. So for the month of November, I got most of where I wanted to go. I tried to get one for every day. But I would sometimes write a couple in a day and then have a little period where I didn't write any, and so I got a few in the bank, and that I might put out for when I'm, my ideas are dry, but I'm going to try and do one story per week. I was doing two, but I feel like it suffers, because then I'll read through what I've written and I go, well, I used that word 17 times, so I should probably find, a thesaurus and change some of the words or something, or something just doesn't work, and you run out of time. And then the editing process, I got to go find all those sound effects and the music that I'm going to throw in there. So I can literally take,
hours.
Yeah, I think that Perfect Christmas Tree one, it took me 7 hours of editing.
Yeah. I believe that.
I am not one with a lot of free time, so.
No, not a family man. And you're running a business.
Yeah. But
you run a full-time business.
Yeah.
You have employees working for you? Do you have some employees?
I'm too broke for that. Just me.
Yeah.
Maybe someday. But the idea is, I'm 51. That's not old by any means, but sometimes I feel my age, and I'm like, I don't want to, clean toilets and run a mop for the rest until I'm old and decrepit. Sorry. I would like to pursue this creative aspect
Nice. So
you
when you're doing your work,
A
like
novel or something.
you work in schools and stuff like that, so you're all by yourself, just doing
No,
janitorial work.
I have done schools in the past. I don't have any currently, but it's mostly
Okay.
I got a couple of gyms. I've got doctor's office, dentists, that sort of thing.
So you go in
Uh,
there, you're working, you're doing it's a routine thing, but then your
Yeah,
mind, I'm looking at all these videos. So you're writing stories, and every week your mind is coming up, wrapping yourself around a new story. And they're different. They're
yeah,
not all the same. They're not sequels. They're all different stories.
yeah. That's not
So
to say that I might not have. I Okay. If anybody here is familiar with Stephen King, I imagine
yeah.
most people are.
Hmm.
Most
Hmm.
most of his things happen in Maine. So he has a fictional town called Castle Rock
Hmm.
and Derry, where the it stuff happened. And that's sort of his like his not cinematic universe, but literary universe, to where these stories are kind of all happening in the same area at different times. And I thought, well, that'd be kind of cool to have something like that. And I have
Hmm.
family in northern Kentucky. Like I remember as a child going out and visiting my grandma in Bedford,
Hmm.
Kentucky. So that's just to see if it takes off. I decided to make that story take place about 30 minutes down the road in a fictional town that I made.
Cool. Cool.
So we'll see. It might be a lot of um, Kentucky folklore, like Appalachian stuff, because there's
And this,
pretty rich lore, of stories that that people tell, and I could definitely get in on that action.
and you're picking up on some stuff, like you got this zombie guy there, public safety and the apocalypse. This is kind of what's on people's minds now, all over the internet. You see it all over. Teleportation. I don't see the UFO one. You'll probably have one coming up where
Oh, I'm
you're
sure I'll have.
abducted or something.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen.
And
It's got to happen, right?
well, you got to be abducted or something, right? And you got to get onto this UFO, and you got to fall in love with this beautiful, or she falls in love with you, maybe a UFO girl.
Well,
Yeah, your wife would have to be okay with that kind of a
I
story, I guess.
I think
But
the fictional version of me will be faithful to his fictional version of her, and that'll be the
okay,
best way to do it.
make your wife
But
the UFO person.
there you go.
She's the UFO chick, and she. This is how you and your wife met, and you make her alien to the Earth. She's like angelic, maybe. I
So
don't know.
close to our actual story. Just kidding.
Isn't
Who
it
knew?
fun writing stories, though? Is it?
Yeah.
I get a blast out of this because you
I
can take
there,
real life and go anywhere.
sorry, I just want to say I think any writer puts a little bit of themselves in some of their past experiences, and
Hmm.
in my head, the reason that this couple wanted that perfect Christmas tree is because they didn't have much as kids, and so that's kind of what has happened to the experience of many XJW kids, where they didn't have the Christmas experience as a child.
No,
So they're kind of striving for something that is nostalgic for them, or that they feel would make their life better. So
I think it's great because all we had was Watchtower stuff. That's all
yeah,
there was, and just boring old Watchtower stuff. I used to go to assemblies, probably like you, and I used to write my own stories at the assemblies, thinking that the stories they told off the platform were so lame.
well, they are. That's for sure. Excuse me.
Oh, that was my wife's turkey camera, kitchen camera. Oh, there's extra here. I'm going to move this off the screen.
In my head, I'm
Okay.
imagining Shauna taking a mic and just presenting it to the turkey, and the turkey's like, "Well, it's a little warm in here. I'm feeling a bit burnt.
So
I could use some butter."
there's the master chef at work.
Nice.
So that gives you an idea, like on the little camera up there. That's what we've been living in for the last, well, since October, probably. We moved out of the sea can. It's been good for us. We used to have a 5,000 square foot house, all like travertine floors. It was a very, very expensive house we lived in. It was the old farm, not the last farm, but my parents my parents, I'm going to blame my mom and dad. They started building this humongous house, and it was so big, like for the time, that they ran out of money and ended up living in the basement for 20 years in an
Oh my God.
unfinished house. And then they were losing the house, the farm. They didn't pay their taxes for 2 years. They ran into some hard times. And so what happens is the county lets the bank know. And then the bank pulled back all their financing, shut his trucking business down.
Wow.
And basically put him into foreclosure. You know, the county does that when they alert the bank. That someone
Banks
has
do
to
not
pay
care.
back. So then they went up for tax sale. And I got there. My dad came and see me. I wasn't really talking to my parents. I was a JW at the time, and they came and see me. And I didn't want to see them without a place, because even as a JW, you feel responsible for your parents. They're
Yeah.
worldly. And so I bought the farm. I didn't have the money to buy it, but I bought it. And then together we kind of made the land payments. And then eventually they couldn't help out. So I eventually sold 1/4. I said to my dad, you don't need all this frickin' land. You're losing it anyways. So I sold 1/4, paid the loan off, and then they lived there until they died. It did eventually finish the house for them. They moved upstairs into the house, and then Shauna and I lived in that house for 8 years. Beautiful house, but huge. It'd take me a day to clean a 5,000 square foot house.
Yeah, no doubt.
Why? And then to heat that thing, there was 2 furnaces.
Yeah.
Our utility bill was $1,000 a month. Just utilities.
Even better just to heat the areas that have pipes and not worry about the rest.
So we got out of there and bought that little farm, and it was a little tiny house, and probably the happiest there. And now we just don't like the cold, so we sacrifice the house for what we're doing now, a recreational spot. It's beautiful. I think it's excellent out here. It's mystic. It's foggy all the time. You know, you could write a story here.
I won't spoil it, but I have a story which will probably be like a novelette that involves some mist, like a fog. Not like the Stephen King thing, something totally different.
No? Oh, so you're going to get it. You're going to write like a 100-pager novelette?
I don't know. I probably, if I put them all down on paper, I probably have like close to a dozen novel ideas.
So you could put a book together with short stories. I used to buy books like that years ago, and just because my mind loved the short stories. I used to like Twilight Zones because of the short stories. It's kind of like a Twilight Zone, eh?
Yeah, I like the Twilight Zone. I didn't see too many episodes, but what I did, I remember them pretty fondly.
This is by Edgar Allan Poe. This is the one that
Edgar Allan Poe, yeah.
That's the one.
Heart.
The other guy's story, right? That was your introduction.
Yeah, and there's a short one I did.
Any other stories you want to show the audience while we're on with Telltale Universe?
Well, if you go to the shorts,
Telltale's Universe.
If you go to the shorts, yeah. Let's see.
Oh, the birds. That was the first one you did, the birds. The crow. And he flew away from his ear.
The first one I wrote was glitter. But if you want to click on the details, it's short.
Glitter.
It's only
this one you wrote, more glitter, right here.
Yeah, but if you want to click on the one that says the details, just I like the voice I did in that one. So yeah.
Okay, let's listen to it. Oops.
Your
my screen's not full.
And
my audio's not on.
Audio is the important part.
Yeah, let me see what's going on here.
And something I decided to do pretty
story
soon.
that I came up with called Shark.
You can do that one.
Sure. Townspeople were in it. This is a little story that I came up with called Shark. The townspeople were in an uproar. The old captain drew his fingers across the chalkboard. Scrape. He had their attention. You all know me and what I do. I'll catch this monster for you. It's not like going down to Bikini Bottom or catching octonauts. Bad fish, this one. Granddaddy of sharks we're talking about here. You'll never catch him the way you think. You hit him where it hurts. Go for his kin. It's the little yellow one that's the key. Don't let the singing and dancing fool you. They're all killers, but I'll do the killing for a price.
Baby shark, do 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 do.
This is a little story that I came up with.
Now,
Jim loved his
You notice that I had myself on the screen there, but not for this one. So, what I decided to do is I've seen 1,000 short stories on YouTube, and it's just some AI voice going over some pictures that are going around, and sometimes it's good and sometimes it's just plain terrible. So I thought, if it's me on the screen, it's me. It's not fake or anything. I can do a little bit of like acting in that, because if I can talk like this and do the different facial movements, it adds something to it. Plus, it's sort of my brand when you see me, and it's not just another talking head video without a head.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know about you guys or the audience out there, but every time I go into YouTube, when I click a video and I see this monotone AI voice done in Pictory, and I built movies in Pictory and used it. And I built one or two, and then I realized I don't want to use their voice. My voice is better. Mm-hmm. And then I realized that people want to see you. Because did you realize that 67% of our communication happens through facial expressions?
Yeah. Makes sense.
That's pretty high, 67%. You can be talking Chinese and I can tell if you're pissed off or happy. I don't speak Chinese, right?
That's true.
So we do, when
you make an expression, you're like, well, this guy's surprised or this guy's angry or whatever. You don't even have to know what he's saying.
Yeah. But you harness a lot in your voices. Like in this, can we play this 1 minute here in the bird?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because you did a great job. I like
his cabin. It was secluded, peaceful, and he rarely had visitors. He loved sitting on his porch swing watching the sunsets. The birds would fly up to the railing and ask for scraps. Here you go, little fella, he said with a joyful smile. He thought about the real estate guy who wanted him to sell this place. The nerve of that creep. I'll never leave this place. Who'd feed my birds? Jim tossed another chunk from his meal onto the floor. The crow thanked him with a hearty caw as it carried away the bloody ear.
So was that the real estate's here?
Yeah. Sometimes I like to leave it to the person's imagination. I don't need to say it was this guy's ear, but you know it was.
The devil is in.
If you want to do the details one, that's fine.
In the details, my ancient grandfather would say to me each summer I visited him at his manor. His collection of novelties, curiosities, and arcana was second to none. Come, my study awaits. It's time you learned the details, he said, ushering me into the dusty, moldering room. I showed your father my treasures shortly before he departed. I miss him, grandfather. Look here, grandson. You shan't miss him much longer, he said, pointing to an intricate image on the wall. Relaxing my eyes, a figure floated out to take my hand. Your father has summoned you.
This one, I got the idea just by seeing one of those.
The devil is in the details.
Those things where you get, you lazy your eye and you can see something 3D pop out of it.
Oh, yeah.
I forget what they're called, but yeah, it's just sort of like the 1900s version of that.
Well, little kids too can see everything that we can't see.
Yeah, that's true. It's just
Feliz
goofing around.
Navidad. Dun, 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 dun.
That you?
Feliz Navidad. Dun, 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 dun. Feliz Navidad.
Wendy convinced me to put that up.
I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
That's good.
Feliz Navidad.
That's it.
The
That's
Black
great.
Spot was the best tattoo parlor in town.
Oh yeah, I remember that
All
one.
my friends raved every time I showed them
Was
my
she a
newest
vampire?
bit of ink. It was impressive what young Evelyn
Not
could
sure.
do with it.
Evelyn?
For some reason, though, I felt more and more fatigue every time she worked on a design. Gray hairs came in faster every day. Tonight, I was getting my back done. I was so tired. More than a man at 25 should be, honestly. Hey, Evelyn, how long have you been doing this? You're so good. I'm not sure. Maybe 85 years now.
85 years.
Yeah. Okay, so if you'll indulge me here, just go to the full,
The Black
the
Spot.
videos, not the shorts. Now, this is just an example of what you do when you take a short story and then you take the time to actually think about it and make it better. So if you want
I make
to click
a
on this
story.
one called Ink, it's not very long. It's only 4 minutes long, and it's the same story but just done differently, a little better.
I like the sound effects.
Yeah, I like doing that too. It's fun.
I wrote about getting a tattoo, but there's a little more to it than that. It's called ink. I wasn't always into tattoos, but now I can't imagine life without them. 6 months ago, I was walking downtown and noticed a little pop-up store at the end of Main Street. The sign at the entrance read, "The Black Spot." The bricks were carbon black with deep crimson joint lines. Something about it made me want to walk in the door. I poked my head inside and had a look around. It seemed like something out of a medieval dungeon, except with framed examples of expertly designed tattoos on the walls. Seated in a chair that resembled a throne was the most beautiful woman I'd ever laid eyes on. She had jet black hair that looked like it went down to her ass. Her skin was creamy white and flawless, save for the few tattoos she had herself. Her eyes were hazel, but looked almost golden when the light hit them the right way. She was dressed perfectly, showing all the right things and leaving the rest to the imagination. She was smoking a cigarette and blew a trail of smoke out one side of her mouth. Slowly, she sat up, leaned forward, and put out the cigarette. "How can I help you?" she asked in an intense and deep tone. How could she help me? I thought. Should I get a tattoo? Would it hurt? She sensed my hesitation as I considered these questions in my head. "I'm Evelyn. Who are you?" she asked. I'm Gary," I said. Why was I being so awkward? This wasn't the first time I'd seen a beautiful woman. "Well, Gary, I can tell you're not someone with ink already, but you really want me to mark you, don't you?" She said in a way that left no question. I really did, at that moment, want her to mark me. "Yeah, I guess I do. This was just the beginning for us." Now, 6 months later, I've got the most amazing artwork across 40% of my skin. All my friends think I look like I belong in some gothic version of an art museum. My arms are complete, and tonight I'm getting my back done. I can't wait to see what she has for me. I just hope I can keep my eyes open, though. I'm exhausted for some reason. The bags under my eyes must mean I'm not getting enough sleep. Usually, I've got more energy than this. Gotta remember to stop at the drugstore on the way home. 25 years old. I'm turning gray. People are starting to wonder about that. I don't understand why, but who cares? I look good, thanks to Evelyn. 20 minutes later, and I'm lying in my stomach at the Black Spot. I turn my head sideways to get a glimpse of Evelyn at work. Her eyes are glowing more than ever. Her concentration is intense. "Hey, Evelyn, What are you creating back there? I asked. You'll see. We've almost come to the end. Just a little more now, and I'll have what I need, she said cryptically. Seemed like a strange thing to say, but I trust the process. How long have you been doing this? You're so good. I'm not sure. Maybe 85 years now. Evelyn is the best artist the world has ever seen. Everyone should be on her table. Someday, if I have something to do with it, everyone will be at the master's table. So, I'm curious to know what she was designing. A succubus? A vampire? Who's to say? Hope you enjoy the story. Please come back, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be waiting for you.
I think it was a vampire. I think she was sucking a little blood out of him each time. You know, they can just suck a little bit of blood and not kill him.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
Well, sometimes it's better to just leave it to someone's imagination. Best story writer can be you as the reader. Because I've shared some of my stories with some people, and they're like, "Oh, I got this bit," and I'm like, "I didn't even think of that." But
yeah, I know. It's everyone will get something different out of the story.
Yep.
Even then, from what you got, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Any others? Anything else before?
no, it's a.
You got any other songs you want to sing? How are you feeling?
Well, I got a bit of a headache, to be honest. But
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, we can call her a wrap, and what we're going to do here is anybody else that wants to come on and sing their show any of their entertainment, show what they did through the year, just chit chat.
Yeah. I don't want to hog the whole show, so
that's fine. We have a few hours, so if no one else comes on, I'm going to play some of my old stuff. I have some really old stuff. I don't know, a lot of people might forget. This is I don't know. Do you remember this one? Getting Out of the Watchtower. This is the Rutherford Trance. You've heard that. I've tried to do that in a number of different ways. But when I first woke up out of the religion, I realized right away it was a Rutherford trance. Everyone was in it. It's a trance. It's like we're all, I don't know, why would we not shave our beards? Or why would we be clean shaven for all those years? And then all of a sudden everyone grows a beard. Like that's a trance. You're under a trance. So here's the song that I put together. Just getting out of the watchtower, I guess.
Help. I'm stuck. Trying to get out of the watchtower. It's hard to get out. Okay, what is it? What's going on? I know. I'm under the Rutherford trance. That's what it is. Well, let me tell you a story. It won't last long. I got to get out of here. Okay. I know. If I lift my leg up. Oh. Well, let me tell you a little story. And this is a song that will not last long. It will make you smile for just a little while. It's about a man who was charged for sedition. He was put into jail, then he made up a mission. He was mad at the governments, so he called them the beast. And after 2 years in prison, this was not the least. He hated religions, and he called them the harlots. He made them the bad ones, the evil little charlottes. Everyone dance, dance, dance to the Rutherford trance. Let us all dance, dance, dance to the Rutherford trance. The Rutherford trance makes everyone dance to his own tune, bringing spiritual ruin. The Rutherford trance always makes me worry, being late for a meeting, so I'm always in a hurry.
When Armageddon comes and destroys those ones, you will live in anticipation and end up in frustration, waiting for the end as your mind. They will bend. Okay. So anyways, that was one. My good wife says we should say goodbye, let you get at your Christmas meal with your family.
Yeah.
So
I got turkey on my mind.
yeah, so we'd like to thank you for being on with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Jonathan. Hey.
appreciate you inviting me.
Okay, well, we'll see you later, Jonathan.
Merry
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Thanks, guys.
Okay, well, do you think that maybe you could entertain the people for a bit here, and I'm going to go back to the other trailer and start the potatoes?
Sure. I'll put on some old Christmas stuff.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, what do we have? We have a playlist. There is a playlist on the channel. This is a poem. In the playlist, you can go right to the bottom. What do we have for Christmas? We did some Christmas stuff right from the bottom. This kind of works my way up. Here we go. Night Before Christmas. We did that one. It was a night before Christmas, and I lay on the couch. There's no point in moving or leaving the house. My socks were flung across the floor without care, with hope that my feet would stay warm while bare. The brothers were nestled all snug in their beds, with visions of Armageddon dancing in their heads. Mama was drinking while I had my nap after dealing with all that watchtower crap. The CO was in town to deal with a matter, and while he was here, my PC did shatter. I wanted to go skiing and get away from it all, but instead, to us brothers, he put out the call. He said, "You must get out and spread the word. Many of the goats have not yet heard. To help you speed up your pace, I have enlisted the help of an encouraging face." He planned a service arrangement on December 25th, and he stood in front of us all and made his big pitch. He separated the congregation and made several little groups, and when everyone was arranged, he sent out all the troops. The CO and his wife looked straight at me, and he said, "I will work with them, and it will be just us three." The CO asked me to take them on my calls. I sat there nodding, wondering if I had any at all. I opened up my return visit book, and it was all blank. So I pulled out the territory card, and I looked under an address, and it said Frank. We went to that door, and I said, "Hi, Frank." And he said, "Come on in." And I looked as it made my head spin. I stumbled about in my presentation, and soon the CO took over the situation. He skillfully placed a Bible and book. I could not believe it when the man just took. He was lonely and lost on Christmas Day last year. His wife died and left him in dismay. He came to the Kingdom Hall to hear the COs talk, and at the end of the day, I thought the CO just rocked. He stood at the front and displayed the scene. It looked as though it was his normal routine. He set up the projector, and on the display, he positioned the governing body and held them in dismay. First on the scene was the reindeer and sled with the governing body as the reindeer heads. on Samuel and Jeffrey, on Kenneth and Jared, on Anthony and Stephen, on David and Sandy. Come quickly, and get to this hall. Armageddon is coming, and we have to tell all. Okay. Welcome. A little bit lame, that one. Okay, I put out a StreamYard link for anybody that wants to come on. If you have some poems, anything you want to entertain the community, you're more than welcome to come on. And if you don't come on, I'm going to bore you with my old stuff. Sometimes the old stuff can be new. What do we have? The next one is Armageddon's Near. Armageddon's Near. It's kind of a Christmas
So the events unfolding around us are making clearer than ever that we're living in the final part of the last days, undoubtedly the final part of the final part of the last days, shortly before the last day of the last
Ding,
days.
time is up. Ding, time is up. Time's running out. Time's running out. End times are here. End times are here. Armageddon's near. Armageddon's near. Ding, time is up. Ding, time is up. Time's running out. Time's running out. End times are here. End times are here. Armageddon's near. Armageddon's near. We welcome all to the Kingdom Hall. For your very survival, we offer you a Bible. Ding, time is up. Ding, time is up. Time's running out. Time's running out. End times are here. End times are here. Armageddon's near. Armageddon's near. Ding, time is up. Ding, time is up. Time's running out. Time's running out. End times are here. End times are here. Armageddon's near. Armageddon's near. Ding, time is up. Ding, time is up. Time's running out. Time's running out. End times are here. End times are here. Armageddon's near. Armageddon's near. We welcome all to the Kingdom Hall. For your very survival, we offer you a Bible. Ding, time is up. Ding, time is up. Time's running out. Time's running out. End times are here. End times are here. Armageddon's near. Armageddon's near. And that's the thing. This organization has been preaching Armageddon since the start. Time is up every year. If you look on JW.org now, this is the thing. So this is a song that it's just a take on the Ding Time is Up. And to really show that the whole religion is just about Armageddon. It's sad. It is. Okay, what else do we have? We did a subscriber drive. We did a Jingle Bells subscriber drive last year. And we thank all of you guys for helping us grow the channel.
Welcome back, folks. This is my subscriber drive video. We're almost there. And this is all thanks to you guys. You guys are such excellent subscribers. And I enjoy your comments. I enjoy the likes, the dislikes, everything. Keep her up. Here it is for you guys. $50 subs to go, 1,000 to get paid. I am oh so close. I got to find my way. I guess I will still sing, and I'll continue to write. Oh, what fun it has been sharing my personal plight. Yay! Watch our smells of spiritual hell, they suck my time away. I am now an ExJW, and I will be okay. Hey, the watchtower smells spiritual hell, they suck my time away. I am now an ExJW, but I will be okay. If you like this song, would you please press like? Then it won't be long till my subscribers spike. I'm not trying to change the world or even start a fight. Just maybe share a laugh or two and spread a little light. Hey, the Watchtower smells of spiritual hell. They suck my time away. I am now an ExJW and I will be okay. Hey, the Watchtower smells spiritual hell. They suck my time away. I am now an ExJW and it will be okay. Woo! Well, thank you guys. I hope you joined me in a bit of the singing, and it was great to be out at the Watchtower. And all thanks to you guys for helping me get this far. So, we're almost there at these videos, so please share them. And hey, these shirts, they're all available. We'll have them.
Okay. Okay. So thank you again to everybody out there for helping the channel. Like and subscribe. You guys have been excellent. That was actually the first Christmas that we started the channel. We've had this channel going now for 2.5 years. 2.5 years. So next Christmas, it'll be 3.5 years. It'll be 1,260 days, 42 months. Or how does that work? It's 42 months, 1,260 days, or 3.5 years. And it seems like that was the commitment we made to the channel when we started, because these things never go on forever unless you're Rick Fearon. But who knows? We've had a lot of fun with the channel. And for all you guys out there, being a witness, there's really 12 months to it. It's a 12-month program, and we like to make fun of it a bit on this side of the fence, because we're on this side of the fence, right? And we look back and we realize that, especially if you were studied with, if you were brought in out of the world, if you were raised in it, well, then it's different. But if you're brought in out of the world, it's kind of a 1-month program. And here's the 1-month program to becoming a JW. Here's what they do. Okay, we'll put this up on the screen. Where are we? Okay.
Well, hello, folks. I wanted to share with you what the first 12 months of becoming a Jehovah's Witness was really like. It's like putting a frog in some water and turning the stove on, and it slowly boils. By the end of 12 months, well, here it is. You're going to hear it in this song. I got notes. So, you ready? On my first month as a witness, the Watchtower said to me, service life will be what sets you free. On my second month as a witness, the Watchtower said to me, do your daily studies, and service life will be what sets you free. On my third month as a witness, the Watchtower said to me, go to the meetings, do your daily studies, and service life will be what sets you free. On my fourth month as a witness, the Watchtower said to me, up your service hours, go to the meetings, do your daily studies, and service life will be what sets you free. On my fifth month as a witness, the Watchtower said to me, we have the truth. Up your service hours, go to the meetings, do your daily studies, and service life will be what sets you free. On my sixth month as a witness, the Watchtower said to me, donate all your money. We have the truth. Up your service hours, go to the meetings, do your daily studies, and service life will be what sets you free. On my seventh month as a witness, the Watchtower said to me, no blood transfusions. Donate all your money. We have the truth. Up your service hours, go to the meetings, do your daily studies, and service life will be what sets you free. On my 8th month as a witness, the Watchtower said to me, watch out for these apostates, no blood transfusion, donate all your money, we have the truth. Up your service hours, go to the meetings, do your daily studies, service life will be what sets you free. Now on my 9th month as a witness, the Watchtower said to me, you don't have a birthday. Watch out for the apostates, no blood transfusions, donate all your money, we have the truth. Up your service hours, go to the meetings, do your daily studies, and service life will be what sets you free. On my 10th month as a witness, the Watchtower said to me, read your magazines, you don't have a birthday, watch out for the apostates, no blood transfusions, and donate all your money. We have the truth. Up your service hours, go to the meetings, and do your daily studies, and service life will be what sets you free. On my 11th month as a witness, the Watchtower said to me, pay homage to the tower, read your magazines, you don't have a birthday, watch out for the apostates, no blood transfusions, donate all your money, we have the truth. Up your service hours, go to all the meetings, do your daily studies, service life will be what sets you free. Now, on my 12th month as a witness, the Watchtower said to me, up those service GD hours, pay homage to the tower, read your magazines, you don't have a birthday, watch out for the apostates, no blood transfusions, donate all your money, we have the truth. Up your service hours, go to all the meetings, do your daily studies, service life will be what sets you free. So you see what happens, folks?
Okay, well, sorry about that. My battery went dead on my laptop, so I just turned the generator back on. And the good wife is just busy. I was over there visiting her. So we'll share the screen again. I don't know if you guys missed some of it. If it went out, let me know in the comments. The 12 Days of Christmas. So that was a take on the 12 months as a witness 12 Days of Christmas, 12 Months as a Witness. And it is a slow process. It is like a frog in boiling water. You know, they get you in, they start studying with you. You know, how do we know that? Because we did the program. We're professionals. We went out, and a lot of us did this program with people. It's a 12-month program, and it's indoctrination. And you don't feel it, and it just feels normal all the way along because you want to be included with the rest of the congregation. It's like a frog in the water. You want to hop into the water, the boiling water, with all those other people and boil with them. Okay, so here's the next one. No one else is coming on yet.
Well, Stephen,
So here we go.
thanks for having me on the set tonight. And I wrote a little song, I think, that would encourage the apostates to come back. Why don't you start the tune out?
Bah,
Ba, ba, black sheep, come back to the fold.
bah,
You must do as you are told.
bah,
We need your donations, and there is more.
bah,
We need you to go door to door.
bah,
Ba,
bah,
black sheep, come back to the fold. The end of this system we have foretold.
bah, 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 bah,
Black sheep, come back to the fold.
bah,
You must do as you are told.
bah,
We need your donations, and there is more.
bah,
We need you to go door to door.
bah, bah,
Black sheep, come back to the fold. The end of this system we have foretold.
bah, 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 bah.
Well, thanks, Stephen. Hey, that was real cool. Maybe we could get that on Kingdom Melodies and get that out to all the congregations. Keep up the good work, buddy. Thanks for watching, everyone. And until next time, keep living your life with love.
Bah.
Bye for now.
Goodbye, little sheep.
Well, hello, folks.
Okay, so that was the governing body. They've been doing a lot
Well,
lately to coerce members, ex-members, into coming back. And this is a couple of years ago. I did this little flick. They've been after ex-members for a while. Even lately now, this last year, if we're to reflect on Shun No More 2024, and we think of what we've been doing this year, it's made a difference. Now let me see if I can if I have a banner for that. Normally I do. Sample banners. Maybe I don't. Anyways, we had that banner, Shun No More 2024. That was the Be Free slogan for this year, and it was a success. A lot of people went down to Be Free. It made a statement, and all of these protests are so important. So when we reflect on the year, Watchtower is listening, and Watchtower is being pressured into making changes. And we see what's going on in Norway. Everything in Norway, it's all working. So we all keep up the work. This is what we do collectively. Now, here's a video I did for the community. Happy holidays. Let's look at this one. And I'll put this
band going in the back. Everyone's set up. We got the violins and pianos and everything going. So here we are. This is to the ExJW community. A Merry, Merry Christmas to all of you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this little tune that we put together. Society, oh society, how false are thy watchtowers, oh society, how false are thy watchtowers. Your magazines are full of death,
You'll sail your hay till your last breath. Society, oh society, how false are they, watchtowers. Oh society, oh society, how false are thy watchtowers. Oh society, how false are thy watchtowers. Made up truth, it is a lie, telling us we'll never die. Society, oh society, how false are thy watchtowers. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. A little bit butchered, but that's what you get Christmas Day. Friends, enjoy the holidays, and until next time, keep living your life with love. Bye for now.
Okay, so society. I forgot about that one. Okay, so yeah.
You make me laugh.
Keith says he's doing Danish ham, taters, and corn. Well, great, good, Keith. Keep smiling. Thanks for all you've done on the channel and in the community. You're a great contributor.
I will be going live in a second because we're going to do a doggy gift exchange.
Okay, so the good wife is going to go live in a bit, and we're going to do a doggy exchange. Do we have the neighbor doggy?
Yeah, she just texted. So
Okay.
I'll let you know.
She'll let us know. In the meantime, I'm going to bore you with some more of this stuff. What else do we have? The GB8 will answer to God. Journey to Remember. JW Org is manifesting today. ExJWs will be okay. There's a Christmassy one. ExJWs will be okay. Did I do that one already? Let's see what this one is. Hello, everyone. I thought I'd revisit some of my old jingles, and I hope you enjoy. I've got my 1,000 subs and some more along the way. I have had so much fun and a chance to have my say. Woo! That one's butchered. That's a replay. These are some replays. Let's see what else I have. Flowbots. Okay, Stephen Latt sings A Little Sheep. We did that one, the 12 months. The Watchtower Society, Happy Holidays. A song to the Watchtower Society. Let's see what that one is. Hey guys, welcome back. Well, this is my last Christmas card I'm sending out to for the season, and this one I'm sending out to the Watchtower Society. Happy holidays. They don't celebrate Christmas. I think this is O Society. Sing along. Yeah. Society, oh society. So some of these I just did a recap on them. ExJW's first Christmas. Let's see what that one.
Hello and Merry Christmas. Perhaps you are celebrating Christmas for the first time. If so, I wrote a poem for you. My first Christmas as an ExJW. Well, I was raised in a world so strict and tight, where Christmas was forbidden. Oh, what a plight. That I broke free from those rules that held me down. Now I'm gonna celebrate, gonna paint this town. Jingle bells, deck the halls, let's make some noise. I'm an ex-Jehovah's Witness with newfound joys. Santa's coming to town, he's got gifts to bring. I'll make up for lost time and dance and sing. No more knocking on doors, spreading the word. Now I'm spreading cheer like a happy nerd. Putting up lights, a tree so tall and bright. I'll be rockin' around it all through the night. Jingle bells, deck the halls, let's make some noise. I'm an ex-Jehovah's Witness with newfound joys. Santa's coming to town, he's got gifts to bring. I'll make up for lost time and dance and sing. No more missing out on holiday cheer. Now I'll gather loved ones near and dear. Christmas carols and hot cocoa by the fire. This ExJW has found his true desire. Jingle bells, deck the halls, let's make some noise. I'm an ex-Jehovah's Witness with newfound joys. Santa's coming to town, he's got gifts to bring. I'll make up for lost time and dance and sing. So if you ever feel like you've missed your chance, just remember, it's never too late to dance. Celebrate life with all your might and zest. Merry Christmas to all, you're truly blessed. Produced by Fixing My Faith.
Okay, that was I guess a little
Hey, guys.
poem I did a while ago in Pictory, where they give you a computer voice.
Hello and Merry Christmas.
But
Perhaps
probably I didn't use it too much again because of the voice. Okay, now what do we have? ExJW Friends. Here's the JW Christmas remix. Throw that on.
Glory in the heights above, good news for all men. When God's Son arrived in Bethlehem, for those who mourn, a Savior has been born. Good news, it's good news, joy for all mankind. Praise God for His life. Good news, it's good news, preach with all your might. Good news, Christ is born, the way, the truth, the life. He will reign for righteousness, peace He will provide. Jesus is the way to endless life. Truth He will defend, His kingdom will not end. Good news, this good news, joy for all mankind. Praise God for His life.
Why there was no right on stage.
It's good news, preach with all your might. Good news, Christ is born, the way, the truth, the life. Good news, it's good news, joy for all mankind. Praise God for His life. Good news, it's good news, preach with all your heart. Good news, Christ is born, the way, the truth, the life.
Well, hello, folks. Welcome to the XJ. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Got up and boogied with the remix. That's the JW song. It's not a bad song once you speed it up, but if we put that in normal speed, it's just as boring as it could be. You guys have all heard it. But you speed that song up, you throw a little bit of Christmas in. It's not a bad song. You know, I think they got it off AI or something. I don't know. It definitely stinks like a Christmas song. So, but they demonize Christmas. They demonize the day. So today we're going to look at the dogs. I'm going to get off the screen. We're going to blow up Lila, and Lila is going to have her Christmas. The Good Wife is out there. So we'll see you in a bit.
Okay, I'm back. I know I was muted out, so.
So the dogs got Christmas. So that was the neighbor dog. And here's the kitchen. Everything's cooking in the kitchen. And in the meantime, we're waiting for Christmas dinner. What do we have? We 9 kings. So you remember the kings, the 3 kings of the Christmas, you know, the wise men. What happened? You know, well, here's the 9 kings. Here's the song we made for the Watchtower. It's we 9 kings. They want to be like the wise men, the 3 kings. So they demonized those guys, and then they took over, and they want to be the 9 kings. Now the 11 kings. They're 11. Yeah, there's 11 kings. Here they are. This we'll have to redo this.
Vern, there's no sound. So, you know, I'm not hearing anything. Check.
No sound? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I just didn't hear any audio on that video.
Okay. I'll remove it, and I'll stop the screen. Sometimes StreamYard does that. Let's try it again. No?
I think I heard sound. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Come on, guys, quit with the arguing. We gotta get into what I came here for. This is an emergency meeting. That's why I got my emergency light on. Boy, you guys called this. I know everyone's upset and they've been hearing a lot of rumors. I brought the rumors back. I got it right here. And let me tell you, the apostates are pissed. They're pissed. They're planning another protest this year. And they even combined it on September, the month of people making suicides. And they have Friday the 13th, September the 13th. It's licensed. It's a licensed protest. I don't know what to think. You guys did it now. All those talks and stuff. Well, let me show you what's going on here. I'll get this going for you. I'll show you what's on the screen there. In the year of 2024, this year, a gathering unlike ever seen before, ex-witnesses, their souls now free, convene at the White House to be free. That's what it says. On September the 13th day, they celebrate their liberation sway, escaping the Watchtower's iron grip, embracing life's joyous fellowship. With awestruck wonder, they behold the promise of a future untold. They no longer are bound by the dogma's chain. They bask in the freedom they now attain. In the shadow of the nation's seat, their stories intertwine, their hearts beat, a testament to the human spirit's might, reclaiming their lives, their true birthright. This moment, a beacon of hope and grace, shines forth, illuminating each face. For in this gathering, a new dawn breaks, as ex-witnesses their triumph stakes. Now, next year, 2025, in the year 2025, when dreams of freedom come alive, ex-witnesses once bound by chains, they're gathering in Boston, their hearts regain. With awestruck gaze, they stand in awe of the journey they've endured, a sacred draw. From the shadows of the Watchtower's hold, they've emerged, their stories now unfold. United by a shared past, a bond so true, they celebrate the life they now pursue. No longer shackled by doctrine's sway, they embrace the world, a brand new day. And in this moment, time stands still, emotions swell, hearts overflow with thrill, for they have found the courage to be free, a triumph of the human spirit for all to see. Boston streets echo with their joyful cries as ex-Jehovah's Witnesses once lost now realize the power of the human will to prevail, a testament to the strength that cannot fail. Well, that's what this is about, guys. It's happening. You guys really did it. You pissed off the ExJW community. It's not over. I don't know what you guys think, but No, I think we're about done here. I'm going to shut down the music. And I think I'm just going to leave. Okay, we'll see you guys. Imagine if you could be in the back room of the governing body right now and what's going on. I don't know how many have been following some of the news lately with the governing body in the state of New York. Now, there's been about 3 cases that I have seen where the judge has said you can sue the governing body as an entity, as a non-incorporated entity. And this is just in the last month or so, these cases have been coming out. We've been covering this on the Friday news. And it looks to me like the governing body now, and on the one case, they tried to serve them, but they couldn't get past the gate, and they served the gate guard. And then this all went to court, and it got thrown out because they didn't serve the individual governing body. So the judge said again, you can sue them, but it got thrown out because they couldn't serve them. You see, you got to serve, when you sue someone, you got to serve them. You got to, I guess, hire someone to go and serve them that lawsuit personally. They have to be served personally. So how do you serve the governing body personally when they're hiding? You see, I think they're home in Bethel, but they're hiding. They're hiding behind the security of the Bethel. And I'm wondering, are they going to come out? Because soon as they come out and they start going to the airports and stuff like that to fly into other countries, then if you're trying to sue the watchtower and you're trying to sue the governing body, you have to serve them. So you may have to serve them at the airport. You may have to hire someone to have them served at an assembly. They may have to, the governing body probably has security circling them all the time now. If they come out of Bethel. I don't think they're coming out of New York Bethel. I haven't seen them. Let me know on the channel if you guys see them. If you see any postings of them coming out of Bethel, let us know. Let's publicize this because they're ready to be sued. They just have to be served. So if they're doing any liquor runs like Tony Morris was, they could get served at the liquor store or en route in the parking lot. These people that are trying to sue them, they're going to have to hire people to watch them 24/7 to sue them, to serve them. So here's a comment. Keith says, hey, Brother Vern, are you the new post-1935 anointed member of the faithful slave class? Am I? No, I'm not anything like that. Governing body, if that's what you meant, I don't know. Okay, let's move on. A positive apostate. I think I kind of got to the bottom of a lot of my Christmas stuff. I did a few. Now, if you guys have some Christmas stuff that you want to throw up, I can put it on the channel. No one's going to throw up. But if you listen to my stuff too much, you might just throw up. But hey, that's all we have. Now let me see, what else do we have here? I do have some other stuff. Ode to the Watchtower. What's that one about? Well, Ode to the Watchtower. Okay, I'm gonna put this up on the stream here. Here's please help me.
I like the beat. Okay, guys, we're gonna have to get going. Security's coming, so let's see this going. I'm a positive apostate. A positive apostate defines his mission He stations himself in direct opposition. He stands for the truth in his exposition of religious philosophies made from magicians. They claim through men only God has commissioned. The Bible they took and then they recommissioned. They made all kinds of rules I call superstitions. They use 8 men to rule in a superposition. I'm a positive apostate and I will define my vision. I'm in this position under one condition, that I look up to God and work with his permission. My glory is none, to God I give recognition. Unlike those 8 men, I am not a physician. I cannot speak of health or of your nutrition. I am not an expert or a mathematician. I have many faults, I will make that admission. I use God's word is my only petition. After I awoke and cleared my cognition, the Rutherford trance was put in remission, then outlawed in my mind like a prohibition. I had to go inside and make a redefinition to everything I learned in full submission. I'm now a positive apostate, and that's my commission. I'm against that religion, for it's based on sedition. I love my neighbor, and that's my petition. I love my wife, and that's in addition to being a good person through all my transition. Knowledge kills the trance by vigorous attrition. You don't have to meet any precondition. You're not expected to act in a predisposition, but when you speak about God, it's with admonition. A positive apostate defines his mission. I abound by love, it removes my inhibitions. My goal is to bring laughter, it's a great condition. I share my ideas and some suppositions. I'm a positive apostate in spite of the GBA. I'm a positive apostate and I do not hate. I'm a positive apostate, I do not berate. I'm a positive apostate and I feel great.
Positive apostate. So that was a poem I wrote probably 2 years ago. A lot of this stuff I did 2 years ago when I first started to wake up. It seemed like I had all these ideas and all this creativity, so I did it. And then it kind of goes away. You get involved in being an apostate. There's a little bit of work. There's a lot of work actually to being an apostate. A lot of research, a lot of keeping up on what's going on. A lot of stuff. We have to go on to JW.org and look at what they're trying to pitch at everyone. So to be a positive apostate, I found for me, I had to get past the point of where this stuff triggers me. And there was a period of time that I couldn't go on to JW.org too much because it would trigger me, or it would put me into like a sleep. You just couldn't watch it. You just kind of start dreaming about something else, and your mind would not let you listen to too much of it. So that's a stage I found for myself, and then I could get over that, and then I could go in and constructively look at what they're trying to do, trying to figure out why they're saying certain things and how they're trying to use this form of coercion to brainwash more people, or to brainwash the people that are in there and keep them in there because their organization is emptying out so dry. It's just, it's, they're not a transparent organization. They lie in court. So how can we even trust their numbers? When they give us their year-end numbers, they're not transparent. And they know how to be transparent. They used to be more transparent with numbers when they were growing, when they had more growth in the organization back in the 80s and 90s. They had more growth than they had loss. Well, once they had more loss than growth, guess what? They quit showing the numbers. And we know that that's an organization that's just going to make themselves, they're a narcissistic organization. They're not going to show the real them. Okay, so what else do we have? A Journey to Remember, Awoke in December. That's when I woke up. It was December. It was this time of year, December. And it was 3 years ago when I was finally waking up, 3 years ago. I left the Kingdom Hall in 2012, but it was only 3 years ago that I started to wake up. And how does that happen, you ask? Well, it's because when you leave, if you don't fix anything that's in your head, you're still in it. Because they'll keep calling you and say, hey, you can wear a beard now. Hey, you don't have to wear a tie. If you're a woman, hey, you can wear slacks. You see, it's still in your head. Hey, you can come back now. The turnaround time is really quick to get reinstated. It's 1 month or 3 months at the max now. Used to be 2 years. 1 year for sure. 6 months if you're new. Those were the numbers. It's no longer those numbers. If you're new, it's like 1 month. You get DF'd. So they've changed. They have changed it. And the religion is changing somewhat. So what do we have next here? Positive apostate. We ran through that. Just looking at my playlist. Oh yeah, Journey to Remember, Awoke in December. This is the next one. So I woke up in December, and I was going through life. I met my good wife 8 years before that, 2012, 2013 kind of a thing. And we hit it off really good. We didn't talk religion at all, really. She knew I was a JW. In fact, when we first got together, JWs were calling at our door when I was at work, trying to coerce her into learning the way, right? That's what they do. So that didn't work out too well for them because we put up a gate. Gates are the best, guys. We put up a gate that kept everyone out. No more JWs showing up. And they don't make appointments, they just show up. And then there's a car full of people out there, and one guy or one person comes to the door, maybe two. But I woke up in December. Why? Because my good wife says, what's going on? Why are you so angry? I started writing a book in December, and I started writing a memoir. It turned into a novel because the book was a little bit on the angry side. So we turned it into a novel. And if no one comes on, I'm gonna put one of the books online. I made a movie out of one of the books, Journey to Love. That's the one I would put on for Christmas. So, but here's a Journey to Remember, Awoke in December. I'll put that one on now.
On this last day of December, we begin a journey to remember. It's hidden within my mind. I close my eyes to see, but the vision just went blind. I close my eyes and feel, but a feeling I can't find. What do I do next? The answers are from where I came. Will I remember the star power when religion is in the way? Where will I be sent? The ice, the cold I taste, it's northern Canada, the last lucky place. How will I know when the time is perfectly right to activate my star power and to make it look bright? Patience is a virtue. Your time is very soon. You will see a sign in heaven, in the sky, and the moon. 2 white wolves will cross your path in the land of snow and ice, and love will then come to you once you roll your dice. The ravens from Noah's Ark will cross the northern lights. The green aurora across the lake will swallow their holy flights. You will stand for something with purpose and with soul that you once found in religion, with visions and with goals. We all help heal our earth, spreading love from the Maker and peace to the nations, all serving the grand Creator. If I were choosing a way of life, what really would I see? A beautiful planet called Mother Earth, and now she's a part of me.
Okay. Well, that was A Journey to Remember, Awoke in December. It's a poem I wrote when I wrote that book in December. I wrote that poem, and it's in the book. I have a lot of the books and stuff online. If you just bring you to the main site here. So if you go to playlists on the main site, you'll see I have a playlist called books, and then I started writing books for this. So there's a few books in here. Now, the book that we were just looking at, that I wrote that poem to in December, A Journey to Remember, it starts out here, Heaven and Back in One Night. You can go onto the playlist. You can listen to parts of it. I am going to finish that book.
I'm thinking about how lucky I am to those formal prayers.
It's a novel. It's a
Let me see,
300-page
let me
book.
think.
So I got 3 chapters on it.
I opened my eyes as wide as...
Takes about 30 minutes to do a couple of chapters. So that's that book. Now, the one book I did in one shot, A Journey to Love, this is a book I wrote before, and I started writing this book back in 2016.
Feel warm, a
This
burning
is,
sensation against my base.
Journey to Love. And it's a sequel from the Cosmos. This is the first book from the Cosmos. And I did read this book. I just read it. So you can get it. And these are just novelettes. 100-page book. It's a story from the Cosmos. That's where it all started. The journey from the Cosmos. And then the next story was A Journey to Love. These are all sequels. And then the next story would be Finding Purpose. So there's
a burning sense.
There's a number of different books. I didn't look at them all. We are getting all the most recent ones. A lot of people don't read. Like if you're on YouTube right now, maybe you're not into reading. Maybe some of you are. But here's some of the books: Heaven and Back in One Night, A Journey to Love, From the Cosmos, Finding Purpose, To the Satu, The Lost Language, and When the Power Went Out. And there's a few others I have that probably aren't up there. So I will eventually put all these books up. I might work on that this winter. And I think it's good. For me, it was an escape writing. It was escape out of the religion. It was an escape from my mind. There was 10 years. Remember, I met my good wife. We didn't talk much. So I got to write, and I got to express a lot of what I experienced in writing. So this one, I took it and I put the whole book, it's a novelette, into a love story. So perhaps some of you haven't seen this love story. I'll put it on. We're kind of killing some time here. If anybody wants to come on, you're more than welcome. But we're killing some time here until we come up to Joe and Fran's show. And that's in another hour, I think, 4 o'clock our time. So an hour and a half. So here we go. I'm gonna run this and enjoy. Just put it on in the background. It's a story, and enjoy it.
Welcome back. Well, this is a journey you will never forget. Oh, well, I didn't. There's a lot of real life in the stories. You'll find that there's a lot of fiction, fantasy fiction, but this happened once I quit the Jehovah's Witness religion I was in. I was in the Jehovah's Witness religion for 30 years, and then in 2012, I told myself, look around, see what's out there, and see if Satan's going to zap you. That's kind of what we were programmed to believe. So as you notice on this channel, we do talk a lot about our rehabilitation in our mind. Well, part of rehabilitating in our mind is actually writing a journal. And I found that writing fictional stories in with real life took the anger away. It took the emotion, the negative emotion out. And I could make this like a journey and place it where I want, and kind of throw some settings in there that I want, and even go into fictional settings. As a JW, we were taught through the Bible that there were these miraculous places, these golden palaces in the heavens. And so our mind, when we allow it to go untapped, it's amazing the journey that you can take yourself on. So I hope you enjoyed this one. This is A Journey to Love. It's a sequel from the very first book, From the Cosmos. And if you haven't watched that one yet, you can get it on my channel under the playlist books. And all the books with the yellow tab are a sequel. And there's about 6 or 7 books that you'll get to enjoy here. So this is the second one. And it's a sequel to From the Cosmos. This is A Journey to Love. Enjoy. Bye for now. Chapter 1, Shipwrecked. I lay face down on a soft, warm pillow of sand, listening to the squawking ravens above. Slowly shaking the fog from my mind, I muster the energy to roll over and investigate the commotion. As I gaze up at the sky, the hot, blinding sun forces my eyes closed. I notice my t-shirt is half torn, and I feel warm, a burning sensation against my bare skin from the scorching sand. I slowly drift off to sleep again, and in no time, the ravens flew back down beside me. I could sense her panic as they frantically jump up and down, squawking as if to warn me of an impending danger. My mind cleared as I woke up once more, and although I was wobbly at first, I managed to roll over onto my hands and knees and slowly crawl to the edge of the palm trees. I fell a few times on my face, but each time the ravens cheered me on, squawking and jumping the whole way, until I finally reached the edge of the palm trees. I was grateful those ravens had woken me, I thought to myself, or I would have been burnt toast. The relief of the shade was soothing, and the ravens were gone now. I quickly drift off to sleep again. In my dreams, I began to recap the events of the last few months, looking for clues to my current dilemma. I had lost my job and became angry with life. Shortly after that, my marriage fell apart, and even my friends left me. I was depressed and went to see my doctor. He said my condition was circumstantial and encouraged me to simply change my circumstances. I needed to change my day-to-day routine or circumstances, as the doctor had suggested, so I decided a holiday was in order. I'd always dreamt of going on a cruise, but could never afford one. With only a few $100 to my name, I set out to see if I could make it happen. I called multiple cruise lines, but none were within my budget. On my final call, the woman who answered must have sensed my desperation. She paused and asked, "Do you know how to two-step?" Well, they were hosting the first ever tropical on-ship country festival and had completely sold out with 6,000 patrons. However, they had not planned the event with enough volunteer dancers. If I knew how to country dance, they could slot me in on the last minute deal for $199. $199. I could afford that. Meals would be included, and most dancing guests would buy drinks for the volunteers as a tip anyways. I could cruise and eat for a week, enjoy the island tourist stops, mingle with a few people, savor a few of those tropical rum drinks by the pool during the day. And at night, my job was to work as a volunteer dancer at the onboard festival. The first night on board, I was quite nervous, but the rules were quite simple. Only dancing allowed, no personal engagements with guests, and only one alcoholic drink per hour. I would clip on my volunteer badge with my name professionally embossed on the tag, just like any other worker on the ship. We were each given 3 sets of country outfits, which we could keep them at the end of the festival. I thought that was a good deal. Well, I danced with hundreds of guests throughout the week and observed that, in general, the ladies preferred country dancing, while their husbands enjoyed the casinos. It seemed like a good balance to me, carving out a niche for guys like myself. I began to wonder if this could be my new life. I felt the need for a job far away from everything back home, and perhaps this could be my new opportunity. Well, my team leader on the ship appreciated my dancing skills and offered to waive the $199 fee if I stayed for another week on the cruise ship for the second tour. And I thought to myself, why not? A few days later into the extended cruise, heavy rains, intense wind, lightning, and thunder struck. All on-ship events were canceled, and everyone was instructed to stay indoors. Guests and crew members were battling seasickness, due to the large ocean swells rocking the ship. I was relieved to have one of the inexpensive lower-level cubby rooms, as there was less movement compared to the upper deluxe. It felt like my mind would replay negative events repeatedly until morning. Suddenly, I was jolted awake from my deep sleep by a loud screech coming from the intercom. "Everyone, to the promenade deck. This is not a drill." I swiftly got up and made my way up to the promenade level. As I stepped onto the deck, all I could see was lightning streaking across the sky and people scurrying and hurrying everywhere. All I could hear was the roar of the waves as I staggered my way over the lifeboats. An attendant with a waterproof tablet was checking off names while other attendants called them out to him. By the time I arrived, most people were already boarded. The attendant glanced at me and the next guy to me and then announced, "Sorry, gentlemen, we're at capacity. There's only room for one more person. Those booking agencies, you'll have to flip a coin." As I glanced at the man beside me, I noticed he was gazing at the boat. It was clear he was a father. His wife was in tears, comforting their two young daughters, who were calling out for their daddy from their seats on the lifeboat. Without hesitation, I gave him the last seat. The attendant gave me one final look before hurrying off to board the last boat and assist the deckman in closing the sealed door. I stood there, gazing out at the black ocean. The air was wild and furious, the waves crashing against the ship with such force that the water gushed along the deck and into the lower hull, causing it to slant. Quickly, I grabbed a life jacket, planning to jump off the ship when the swell moved out, hoping it would carry me away from the sinking vessel. As the moment arrived, I ran to the edge of the deck and leaped as far as I could into the dark waters. After a few moments, I managed to get my head above water and exerted effort to grab onto the back ladder of a passing lifeboat. I clung on tightly as the lifeboat slowly drifted away from the sinking ship. I could sense the drag of the water caused by my weight and my life jacket, which was making it difficult for the fully loaded boat to maintain its course. And the captain, feeling uneasy about the situation, shouted to me to release my grip as it was hindering their ability to steer the boat effectively. Following his command, the deckman struck my knuckles with a paddle, and I reluctantly let go. I managed to grab hold of another boat leaving the sinking ship, this time securing my grip at the back. The next thing I knew, I woke up face down on the sandy shoreline. As I regained full consciousness, I pondered how I had reached the shore and where everyone else was. The sun was setting as I rested under a palm tree, attempting to gather my strength. Hunger pains started to grow inside me, and it struck me that I had no idea how long I had been there. I closed my eyes for a moment and heard those ravens land on the branches above. They dislodged a coconut, causing it to drop, near missing my head by inches. I grabbed hold of it, but then I can feel the pain in my knuckles. I guess from the paddle, I assumed. Then realizing this is not a dream. My hunger cramps caused my hands to override the piercing pain in my knuckles, so I carefully and slowly pick it back up. It was leaking a bit, so I peeled back the bark to suck out the juice and chew a chunk of the raw pulp. As soon as the juices hit my stomach, I could feel an instant relief. I looked around to see where those ravens went, because I wanted to thank them, but they were nowhere to be seen. Soon, the sun was setting. The waves swished back and forth on the shoreline. The birds coo in the upper hills, keeping rhythm, putting me into a deep, deep sleep. Chapter 2. Deserted. I woke up again, and the sun was already beating down on me. About a half a mile down the beach, there was a canteen boat resembling a lifeboat, and when I got there, it was stocked with supplies. It was used for day trips from the ship, going back and forth to various excursions. I got up and made my way down to the beach to the boat, but there were still no signs of people. I expected to see lifeboats and people along the beaches, but all I could see were waves crashing against the shoreline. Birds were singing all around, and I could hear the occasional animal sounds coming from the higher up in the hills. I surveyed my surroundings, walking along the beaches, and then rested in a sheltered spot among the palm trees. Yet, there were still no signs of people. Afterward, I went to inspect the contents of the canteen boat, where I discovered cases of canned food and boxes of liquor and cigarettes. I then dragged the canteen boat onto the shore, only to notice that the propeller had been torn off. Well, here I was, on a tropical island, with all the liquor and food I would need for some time. I could even shake down a few coconuts and pineapples to mix their juices in with my drinks. Although I only had the shell of a boat that was not seaworthy because of that propeller, well, I could at least use it as a temporary dwelling until rescue arrives. The boat had an onboard solar-powered system and all the conveniences of a small kitchen in a houseboat. At last, my own holiday, I muttered to myself. I'd always dreamed of being on a deserted tropical island with no people around, just a tropical beach all to myself and the finest liquor in the world. Each day, I would make time to relax, soak up some of the sun, just like on my holidays on the sandy beaches of Playa in Mexico. The water would be a beautiful shade of blue, warm as a bathtub. The sun shining at the perfect temperature, with barely a breeze. I'd be sipping on a refreshing cold drink of some sort. After lazing around for about a week, I decided it was time to explore the inland. The island was no more than 20 miles around, a distance I could easily walk in a day. I packed some supplies from the canteen and set out. Following the beach to the southern point of the island, I encountered a large hill blocking the way, with a pebble trail leading around. The trail then curved around a massive rock pillar, veering away from the shoreline and into the hills, eventually disappearing into the trees. The walk was easy, a steady uphill climb for about 5 miles, surrounded by trees all the way. Emerging from the trees, I found myself in a valley meadow with an old farmhouse across from me, possibly an abandoned sugarcane farm. Upon a closer examination, I noticed the number etched into the wood in the basement that read 1982, indicating that it was about 30 years old when I arrived. There were no signs of life from what I could see as I surveyed the yard. An old water well was covered in the shed, and an old steel structure storage building held a variety of old parts and tools, scattered junk all over in dust. The house itself was very dusty, with cobwebs everywhere. However, it appeared structurally sound. The windows were tight, the cedar roof had no leaks, and the outer shell was solid. I suspected it was made of fir wood, and the floor was a light-colored shale-like stone. The main living area featured a vaulted ceiling and a large glass windows that overlooked an overgrown, weedy garden with a view of the meadow. Overgrown trees partially obstructed the view, but I managed to imagine that at one time you could see down across the valley. The basement was sturdy and filled with boxes of old clothing, footwear, and housewares. My first impression was that someone had left in a hurry, rummaging through the boxes for specific items and then leaving the rest behind. There was an old radio antenna mast with an old TV antenna. For a moment, I thought the rescue beacon from the canteen boat could be mounted on that mast. The house was connected to a diesel generator, but the fuel tanks were completely empty from what I could see. I considered dismantling the solar system from the canteen and relocating everything to the farmhouse to use as a home base until a rescue arrives. This way, the antenna could help the beacon see over the north side of the island. Well, additionally, there were a couple of old wrecked tractors dating back to the 1940s that I noticed. And in the long grass, I uncovered some old haying equipment. Was fortunate that I was raised on a farm and knew what some of this stuff was. My dad was a mechanic, so all of us boys had to learn a few things. He could do anything: electrical work, plumbing, carpentry. As a farmer, he had to know a bit of everything to keep the farm running. And if only I had picked up a bit more on the mechanics, my younger brother became the mechanic. I was more into the low voltage and the technology. I'd already inventoried all the technology on the canteen boat and realized I could connect the 5,000 watt inverter to the electrical panel at the farmhouse. I planned to remove the 6 400 watt solar panels from the canteen and install them on the south wall of the farmhouse. And the canteen also had a 400 volt, 10 kilowatt Tesla Powerwall, which could easily handle the power load even during long cloudy periods with a limited solar input. All I needed to do was run the fridges and a few lights. Among the trees growing all around the farmyard, I discovered a 500-gallon tidy tank filled with old stale gasoline. I extracted some of the fuel from the tank and managed to get an old Farmall tractor running after a day or so. Time was all I had. So I cleaned the points, the condenser, used some emery cloth I found in the shop, just as I'd seen my dad do countless times with our old farm machinery. And I replaced a faulty spark plug wire with a piece of baling wire found in the tin shed, and then proceeded to remove the 4 old spark plugs using a plug socket I found on the floor. The spark plugs looked good, but they were caked up with old unburned oil and fuel. And I cleaned the gap and capped the plugs based on what I thought looked good. After a few cranks, the old tractor fired on a couple cylinders. So I choked it again, it fired, and I repeated this process several times until it finally started running, roughly. I managed to find an old chain in a clevis so I could tow the canteen boat up the trail to the farmhouse. The canteen tender boat was large, but it had fold-down wheels that allowed it to be easily moved on and off a ship's deck, making the process simpler than I had anticipated. As I traveled along the winding road, I observed various ecosystems, including a small freshwater lake located south of the farm meadow. The lake featured a small island, and its water was clear and refreshing. Approximately 4 miles further along the winding path, just before reaching the tropical zone, I encountered towering trees that surrounded the base of the hill, resembling a mountain. I speculated that this must be a source of lumber used to construct the house. I spotted an old sawmill among the trees, its large circular blade rusted and unused for 30 years. Further along the trail, there was a sudden drop in altitude, and you could feel the heat and humidity as you descended into the tropical area filled with palm trees, banana trees, pineapple trees, and various other tropical plants. It was hard work, but a wise decision on my part, as provisions for the canteen lasted us 3 years. Additionally, applied salvage from the boat to restart the farm operations. Once I brought the tender boat canteen up to the farm, I towed it beside the house and got busy. I found an old roll of LVT electrical cable in the tin building. My first task was to get the power running in the farmhouse so that the 240 volt AC submersible pump could work in the freshwater well. The boat was equipped with an electric motor and a Tesla battery. I connected a 240 volt input from the inverter on the boat to the breaker panel in the farmhouse distribution panel. And as a result, the entire farm now had lights, power at all the receptacles. Later, I moved the fridge into the house, and the boat became my movie theater with its large screen TV. The outdoor speakers allowed for music and lounging in the sun on the plexiglass deck. After a couple of weeks, I had the beacon removed from the boat and reinstalled it on the large antenna mast beside the farmhouse. Following 3 to 4 days of vigorous cleaning, and now that I had running water throughout, I got the farmhouse all cleaned up. I was ready for a party. But where are all the people? Chapter 3, a woman. Days turned into weeks, and loneliness and negativity crept in. I found myself lost in my thoughts, aimlessly wandering about the farm. I resorted to heavy drinking and smoking, depleting the supplies on the canteen boat. My mind was consumed by negative thoughts, so I'd blast music to drown them out. The louder, the better. I even dismantled the subwoofer from inside the canteen and set it up outside for the ultimate high-quality rock music experience. This cycle repeated daily. I spent months alone on that island. And about half the time, my thoughts were horribly negative. It was the easiest way of thinking. The drunker I got, the more I started to rant and rave. Not a proud moment of my life. It was June 21st. I remember the early morning vividly, the intense sun rays, and those ravens outside again, tearing into the garbage. I had a headache from drinking the night before, so I decided to walk it off. It was around 6 in the morning when I started walking my usual trail. As I reached the fork in the path, a couple of ravens flew out of the trees ahead of me, causing me to sidestep to avoid their swoop. I couldn't help but wonder what was wrong with them. Opting to continue left on the trail to avoid their commotion, I found myself heading toward the south point of the island, a route I hadn't taken in a long time. Walking along the beach for about a mile, I felt like I was on a vast sandbar. Lost in my thoughts, my mind began to drift back home. I wondered why I hadn't even seen a plane fly over. I decided to keep walking and check out the sandy beach on the south point, where the morning sun is rising about now. It will only take a few hours to walk there. I haven't tried that route in a long time. Who knows, maybe the ravens were onto something. I must be reconnecting with my spiritual roots on this island, thinking the ravens are giving me signs. As I stroll along the beach, it appeared to stretch along the island for miles. I adored the white sand. It was soothing for the soul. The dew was rising, and I could see the heat waves dancing up and down off the shorelines in the distance, with a ribbon of green against the blue ocean. The day was blissful. While walking, I scanned the sand for signs of life, like footprints. But, as always, there was nothing to be found. I glance up briefly and then back down to the sand, and suddenly I freeze in my tracks. What was that in the distance? I squinted and saw what appeared to be a figure resembling a ballerina dancing on the shoreline. I rubbed my eyes and looked again. It seemed to be a person, or perhaps an animal, standing on 2 feet, but I couldn't be sure. My heart raced as I dropped to my knees and cautiously crawled towards the edge of the shoreline, disappearing into the dense foliage to avoid being noticed. What should I do? I wondered as I regained my breath. I crawled over to a trail just inside the trees. The pebbles on this path looked polished, as if it had been traveled for 1,000 years by an army. I crouched along the trail to get a better look. As I crawled closer, I peered out of the tall grass, and I saw a young-looking lady twirling around on the beach. I watched for some time, but as I had lost my eyeglasses at the sea, I couldn't quite make out the fine details. I stared closer, and suddenly, ouch! Red ants were crawling up my legs, biting me repeatedly. I jumped up and yelped, giving away my camouflage. I ran out of the grass like a mad bull and straight into the water for relief. When I turned to look at the lady, expecting her to be startled, she wasn't even looking at me. She just reached down, picked up another starfish off the shore, and threw it into the water. There were thousands of them all over the beach as far as the eye could see. While I washed the remaining ants off my legs in the water before slowly walking up to her, she paused for a moment and gazed at me as if she were anticipating my approach. I could see wisdom in her eyes. My heart raced, and I found myself pondering who, where, and why all at once. Breaking the silence, I cleared my throat and said, "Hello, my name is..." And "Hello," she replied in broken English, glancing briefly in my direction. Her skin appeared soft and light, and her captivating eyes drew me in instantly. "What are you doing?" I asked as she bent over to pick up a starfish. She replied, "The starfish will all die soon as the sun rises higher in the sky." I look around at the many hundreds of them, and without thinking, I blurted out, "You're not going to make a difference?" She was silent as she looked down toward the water and threw the starfish from her hand back to safety. I immediately thought to myself, what a stupid thing for me to say. She reaches down again to pick up another starfish, holding it for a brief moment, admiring its beautiful shape. She stroked the top of the fish and said under her breath, "I'll make a difference to this one," before gently tossing it into the water. Her eyes turned green as she gazed out at the water and then back to hazel when she looked at the shoreline. Her hair was black with a red tone from the top of her head to her shoulders, resembling a deep burgundy scarf blowing in the light breeze at the bottom. I could see her cotton top was torn on the one shoulder, exposing a tattoo, taunting me to look further. She caught my eye. I blushed. She smiled, a little mischief in her eyes. Within an hour, we had saved hundreds of starfish that day, giving us a good feeling. As I stood up to straighten out my sore muscles and stretch, I realized, "I've gotten soft," I exclaimed. I hadn't done that type of work since I'd landed on the island. I was always drunk, waiting for a rescue. I was not expecting to meet anyone. She didn't talk much, but she studied me as we walked steadily along the beach. I'd never explored this part of the island before. I always believed the big rock cliff marked at the end, but on the other side, nestled among the huge palm trees, was a small old cabin that I never knew existed. The cabin was cozy inside with low ceilings and a scent of cedar, mixed with unfamiliar flowery fragrances. She took my hand and led me over to a small couch, which she adjusted into a small bed, gesturing me to lay down. As I sat on the bed, she lit candles and the sun was setting. Despite every muscle aching, I forgot about the discomfort when she emerged from her kitchen with a bowl of something incredibly fragrant. The dish was a blend of vegetables, herbs, and spices with a meaty taste. It was exactly what I needed, far surpassing the preserved food I had been consuming from the lifeboat. That day, all I had eaten was rum, and, well, it was Jamaican rum, and fruit juices from the canteen. I finished eating, and she took my bowl. I followed her through the kitchen and then outside to her yard. Later, we walked on the beach and watched the sunset on the water before it sank into the ocean, leaving a dark red glimmer across the water and a red streak across the horizon. She studied each ribbon of the sky with great interest and finally said with conviction, "The red sky tonight will be a sailor's delight tomorrow." Will it be calm? It will have a certain wind in the air that will not leave a sailor stranded at sea, and the sky will not bring a storm causing grief. I paused for a moment, like when I read the Farmer's Almanac. Her energy drew me in. Her inviting eyes and soft half smile made me eager to know her better. The backyard was a fragrant oasis, filled with shrubs, herbs, fruits, and flowers of all kinds and sizes. It was a hidden paradise, and I fell in love instantly. My old life, with all of its worries, pain, and sorrow and despair, it all disappeared. All I could focus on was the beautiful person standing before me. And in that moment, I was no longer alone. Chapter 4. Love. Days turned into weeks as we fell in love. She slowly improved her English by studying my facial expressions and matching them to words. Once we overcame basic language barriers, we could share life stories with each other. Although the island seemed tropical, we experienced distinct seasons up in the hills. Suddenly, fall arrived, prompting us to spend the winters in the old farmhouse, away from open water. My task was to gather firewood for the winter months, while Emilia prepared the home for the colder season. We inventoried the canteen goods, stored them in the basement. I dismantled the refrigerator from the boat and relocated them also to the basement. The boat exterior was repurposed to house the solar system and batteries. To prevent damage from the cold water or the cold weather, I later removed the batteries to the indoors. The boat stereo and speaker system were successfully relocated into the farmhouse. The solar system was connected to the breaker panel, making the transition easy. During most of the winter, I monitored the radios and ensured the beacon was working on top of the mast. My main goal was to get rescued, so I patiently waited. Throughout the winter months, we played cards and various games we found in the canteen lifeboat, and the old farmhouse also had games and cards and things laying around. We spent many hours watching hundreds of movies from the relocated boat entertainment system, which contained a built-in library of movies and music videos of all sorts. The canteen had liquor, and so I could drink away the months until spring finally came. The snow was melting high up in the hills, water was flowing vigorously, and the grass was turning green. Feeling impatient and abandoned, I began to take out my frustrations on Emilia with sharp remarks. One day she simply left, leaving me to wander aimlessly around the farmhouse for days, wondering if she would ever return. When she finally came back, she brought a variety of herbs and plants from her cabin, and together we started to build a garden. Eventually, we even began to raise some little bantam chickens. Most mornings, I would spend my time hunting for their nests of eggs. One day, a wild horse approached, and Amalia reached out to the mare. The horse came over and nuzzled up to her. And when I walked over, the horse quickly pulled back and scurried off to a safe distance. It started to graze at a distance from me, but stayed around and bonded with Amalia. It was a magical time for us. We only had each. So we're about halfway into the story. You can watch the rest of the story on the channel. Just go to the books library, and you can finish the story. It's kind of gets interesting. They go through what do they call it? Kind of like a time warp, and they get into another worldly. It's a little bit of a sci-fi. They get into an area it's called the farmer's market, but it's an otherworldly area, spiritual. So the book gets more interesting, in my opinion, and the series gets interesting all the way to the lost language. I based all of that on I based a lot of the writings on my journeys up to the Arctic and some of the experiences I had up there. So we're going to bring a close to the program today, the Christmas special. We thank everyone for being on with us. Stay tuned. In an hour, we're going to be on again with Joe and Fran. So we invite you all to come and see what's happening on Joe and Fran's show in less than an hour. Okay, so we'll see you guys all later, and thanks again, and keep living your day with love. Merry, Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho. I need the hat and the beard. Maybe I could be a Santa one day. Okay, we'll see you guys in an hour. Bye for now.